Welcome, everybody, to NCAA Division II Super Regional Baseball from the University of Tampa. We welcome you to the Tampa Spartans taking on the Rollins Tars. Next stop, Cary, North Carolina for one of these teams. 2 games is all the one team has to do to advance. It'll be a best-of-3 series between Tampa and Rollins. A little bit of a delay to start of this game. It was supposed to start at 6. A very inopportune storm or rain shower blew through about 5 o'clock. It only rained for about 20 or 30 minutes, but it came down really hard just before the start of this game. Teams are out taking batting practice, infield, and it poured, and it has delayed the start of this game, and we've had some puddles out there that have done a remarkable job to get this field ready. Jack Ike along with Taylor Stolworthy, and Taylor, it's finally time to lace them up and play.
It certainly is. We got here early, and we've been waiting for a while. We have been eagerly anticipating this first game of the Super Regional Series. As you just mentioned, 2 wins and you're going to Cary, North Carolina. That's a lot simpler than the regional play we had last weekend, talking about double eliminations, who hosts where. But it's simple. These 3 games are played at the University of Tampa. The winner of this series goes to Cary. If it happens like it did in the regular season, well, the Spartans would win on Game 3, as they previously played, and the Spartans won a series 2-1. And they're hoping for similar success here.
Maybe simpler to figure out, but I don't think it's going to be that much simpler to finally take the series and move on to Cary, North Carolina. Tampa comes in SSC champions and has a 44-11 record. They were 24-6 to win the conference. Rollins at 38-15 finished 4th in the Sunshine State Conference with an 18-12 record. They were the 5th seed last weekend at South Region number 2 up in St. Leo. St. Leo was the top seed in that region, and they seed all 8 teams in the regional, and Rollins was the 5th seed but came through that regional to pick up the win. St. Leo, the number 2 seed, the top seed in that regional, lost 2 straight games, and they were 2 and done.
Yeah,
season over.
Pretty shocking ender for St. Leo, as 2 relatively close teams. St. Leo not super far from Tampa. They weren't able to get things going. Tampa had a loss in the Super Regional, but bounced back to beat Valdosta State and then upset Nova Southeastern twice in the championship series in 2 nail-biters of games. One of them, bases loaded in the 9th, 3-2 count, strikeout secured, and the Spartans took the victory. And in Game 2, a sacrifice fly was mere seconds away from ending the Spartan season, but Jordan Lala with the scoop catch was able to fool the Sharks base runners and get a double play to get out of the jam. And Drew Earhart, who's behind the plate today, hit the game-winning, well, go ahead because it wasn't the bottom of the 12th, double, and then also made a defensive play, a diving catch at second base to get an early out, and the Spartans were able to punch their ticket. Rollins, a lot less drama, 3 straight wins.
All right, we're ready to start. Michael Paul on the mound for UT in this game, and he will bring in an 8-4 record, a 3.29 ERA. His battery mate, Drew Earhart. First batter of the game is Ruben, and the first pitch is a called strike, and we're underway. The batting order for the Rollins Tars in today's game. Batting first is the third baseman, number 23, and that is Joey Ruben. Second will be Chase Acuff, and the leading hitter in the conference, shortstop number 4. Second base, batting third, is number 3. That is Adams Torres, and he is a senior from Kissimmee, Florida. Cleanup hitter is Jalen Whitehead, and the first baseman is number 12. We're 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ruben to start this game.
Great start in the count from the bump, Paul, and he's looking to retire the first batter right here, hoping to sit down Ruben without a lot of trouble.
1-2 pitch outside. Rollins comes in, .299 batting average on the season, pretty much similar to Spartans. Spartans are at about .307. Nova Southeastern was hitting over 300, so these good teams are up there. Ground ball, Dan Sullivan botched it, and it will go into the outfield, and just a slow roller took an awkward hop, and the first man is on via error. Ruben at first.
Yeah, that's a very routine ball and just a very rare error there from Dan Sullivan. I think maybe he just thought too much about, hey, I just got to get it to first base instead of, hey, I need to make sure I get in front of this. And now there's a runner on. Paul's still looking really good so far, but Rollins can breathe a sigh of relief.
Might have just taken his eye off it, getting ready to head to first base, step on the bag. So Ruben is on. He has stolen 10 bases this year in 12 attempts. Chase Acuff at the bat, 378, top hitter in the Sunshine State Conference this season. Though it's continued into the postseason, he's still one of the top hitters on the team. Also one of the top relief pitchers on this team. He has 6 saves on the season.
It's very useful to a player who hits really well and pitches really well, something the Spartans will definitely have to deal with throughout the 3-game series. And now he's got a dangerous chance with a runner on.
Yeah, that worked? Yeah, it did, but it turned off. I think these guys want it on. It's all good. Sorry.
That one's going to be fouled away. You mentioned before that it's a pretty wide playable area right in front of the dugout.
Yes.
So sometimes foul balls can drift over there and even behind. So they can actually be retrieved.
Acuff, 0-2 count. Joey Rubin at first. Pretty good lead. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He went upstairs. And Michael Paul with the first strikeout of the game. Paul on the season, coming in with 84 strikeouts on the season and just 24 walks, a 4-to-1 ratio, which you have to like.
Indeed, you love a pitcher that has the good stuff to get quite a few strikeouts and then the command to not surrender many walks. And that's a pretty crucial first strikeout. It prevents a lot of sacrifice or moving runner activities, because if a runner gets ahead on a productive out, it's not 2 outs and a runner on in scoring position instead of just 1.
Adams Torres at the plate, 3-14 ground ball out to second. Lyons is going to have to go to first, gets it for the second out. So a couple tough fielding plays early for the Spartans. Defensively for Tampa, they have Michael Paul on the mound, Drew Earhart, his battery mate behind the plate, Dan Sullivan at first, Jamarcus Lyons at second base, Anthony Nunez at third, J.D. Urso at shortstop, Jordan Lala in left, Jose Cadenas in center, and E.J. Cumbo in right. Now to the plate comes Whitehead. There are 2 players named Whitehead on this team. This is Jesslyn Whitehead. There's also Jalen Whitehead, who's a pitcher on this team.
Jalen, in fact, will be the starting pitcher in the bottom half of the inning.
In a couple minutes, we'll be seeing him.
Hopefully a little bit longer, because that would mean the Spartans have extended the inning. Oh, no, actually, a little bit shorter. I forgot the Spartans weren't batting.
First pitch inside.
Well, why would you be confused about the Spartans hitting? They're at home. Yes. Because in the tournament, they had a couple away games.
They're probably going to be away tomorrow.
Indeed, I think that's what they're going to do, away tomorrow. But Game 3, they would be home, so that'll be something we'll stumble on tomorrow when it comes to the Spartans and Rollins Stars.
Who knows, if there's a Game 3, it may go to just do a coin flip.
Of course.
They may not just say we're alternating every game. We'll see if we get that far.
Yep.
1-0 pitch. Looks good. Call strike. Umpires, there are 4 for NCAA games. Kevin Flay behind the plate. Ryan McCraney at first base. Ray Chamberlain at second base. Nate Starr at third base. McCraney and Chamberlain, familiar names for Tampa Spartans games. One ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Rubin on second. Pretty good lead. The pitch. Oh, looked good, but he doesn't get the call.
Well, it's a nice
probably a little high.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit high, potentially a tiny bit outside, but I thought it broke back enough into the zone. That's a very solid sinker or 2-seam that he's got right there. But that's going to be called a ball, and now it's going to give Whitehead the head in the count.
2 balls, 1 strike. Michael Paul, long look in. In the stretch. Swing and a miss, evens it up 2-2.
I'd actually like to notice something really quick. Dan Sullivan's playing pretty far up, so I wonder if they're just watching, if this guy is weak when it comes to pulling the ball, if that's part of his scouting report, because he is a little bit deeper than you normally see him, especially with how deep that
Well,
Nunez
even look at J.D. Urso at short, a righty batter, but he is favoring heavily towards second base. So the report might be he doesn't get around on it. He's a good hitter, but maybe
Obviously.
just doesn't pull a lot.
To hit cleanup, you have to be a good hitter.
2-2 pitch. Low in the dirt. Whitehead coming in 344. Cleanup hitter, but no home runs on the season. Leading home run hitter with 11 on the season is Parker Smith. Actually, I take that back. Nick Santucci with 14.
Rollins only 30 home runs in the year for the entire side, so definitely more of a small ball team.
Yeah, Tampa with 50.
Quite a few of those came last weekend.
Last weekend, yes. Fly ball, foul. And even with 50 home runs, Tampa is oftentimes second to whoever they're playing. The other teams have typically hit more home runs than Tampa. But when you get 5 from Dan Sullivan in one weekend's work, a couple from Cumbo,
Lala.
Lala.
Not Lala. It was
Jamarcus Lyons with
Lyons.
back-to-back with Sullivan.
Yep. That definitely helps inflate the number just a little bit.
3-2 pitch coming up. Runner on second, 2 out, bottom or top of the first. Just underway in a rain-delayed start. Ground ball. They're going to let it. That one may stay fair. Now, I think they called it dead as Whitehead is limping. I think it hit him in the ankle. Now they're calling it an out, but I know Whitehead got hit. Now, if he was out of the box. All right, so they did throw it to first. He didn't run. It stayed fair. So he is out. Inning is over. No score at the end of half an inning. And it is Tampa coming to bat right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. Activities, including performing arts, guest lectures, nearly 200.
Bottom of the first we go, no score. Tampa coming to bat. They will send up Jordan Lala, Drew Earhart, and Dan Sullivan. Lala, one of the top hitters in the conference, coming in hitting .358 on the season, 212 at-bats on the year.
Very active hitter for the Spartans and gets a chance to lead off, but with Whitehead on the mound for Rollins, that's a disadvantage. You got the lefty-lefty platoon.
Ground ball, foul. That one stays foul. As for Jalen Whitehead on the mound, his brother Jesselyn Whitehead out in the field. Jalen Whitehead, the ace of the staff, comes in with a 9-2 record, 1.62 ERA. We'll give you some more numbers after this pitch. Lala watches that one outside. 15 starts, 15 appearances, so this will be 16th appearance, 16th start. Has one complete game, an exact 100 innings pitched on the season. 70 hits, 26 runs, 18 of them earned, walked 23, struck out 93. And Lala's bat goes, wow, that one sailed over the Rollins dugout. Somebody's going to have to retrieve that one.
If you're a Rollins player in that play, you were ducking for cover until you realized.
It was way over your head.
That was a little bit too high. But you can see what Lalo wanted to get in that swing, but comes up short that time as the count goes to 2-2.
Now, I don't think that had anything to do with the weather. The
No,
grip.
definitely not.
Just didn't get a good grip.
Pretty sure that's a new bat, or maybe did they go around to get the same one?
I think somebody ran behind and got it.
Always see players eager to get up.
Give him a
for
little
both teams.
stick 'em.
Yeah. I know for the Spartans, you generally see Dalton Ross getting active, helping get some balls, bring some water.
He's been out there once, I saw. I always like it because he introduces himself to the umpire, shakes his hand.
Exactly.
All right, we have the bat in hand. 2-2 pitch coming up. Whitehead to Lala. Swing and a miss. He goes down swinging. And a quick strikeout for Whitehead.
You could say that Paul and Whitehead being the two dominant pitchers for their teams. Obviously, Herb has been best for the Spartans, but recently we've seen Urso trust Paul to be the number one when it comes to starting these tournaments. So you got to think, after this pitch,
And call strike.
you got to think that we could see more of a pitcher's duel today rather than an offensive explosion. Last time we were in game one of the tournament. I'll wait till after this pitch. We saw a true offensive explosion from the Spartans where they put up video game numbers.
35-4 winner over Spring Hill last Thursday. Here's the pitch. 0-2, ball high. Drew Earhart coming in. 323 average on the year. Tops on the team with 228 at-bats, ground ball to third. High hop, Ruben throws across, and we got 2 up, 2 down. Dan Sullivan to the plate. Had a mighty weekend last weekend. 5 home runs. Of course, 3 in one game in that 35-4 rout of Spring Hill. But the other 2 homers, very timely at the time they were hit.
Always useful to have a player like Sullivan who knows how to take it yard.
Now up to 17 home runs on the year.
And to get hot in the postseason, it's one of the best qualities you can have in a player.
And that one is hit out into left field. Coming in, though, is Coleman. And he makes the catch in medium deep. So both teams failed to score in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left for Tampa. We go to the second right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us.
And for college sports.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
No score. Top of the second we go. It will be Santucci, Smith, and Coleman for the Rollins Tars. Tars are coached by John Sjogren, 17th year at Rollins. While at Rollins, 426 and 386, but combined 31 years of coaching, 784 wins, 691 losses. Of course, Joe Urso, Tampa coach, passed 900 career wins earlier this season in 22 seasons in Tampa.
That's an incredible rate, and Urso truly a legend when it comes to coaching for the Spartans and arguably in the entirety of Division II in general.
Drew Earhart said, I was here for 800, I was here for 900, I've been here a long time. Santucci swing and a miss.
Now, a quick question about Earhart. Was he part of the 2019 championship winning side?
Yes.
He was, so he has that championship DNA. He has it in his blood. He knows how to get there. I know he's going to want to help his team get back. He's helped all over from hitting and defensively.
Just put him out there. There's a high fly. Lala drifting toward the foul line. Backs up a step, makes the catch. He caught that one regularly. He confused me.
Yeah, because, sometimes he'll drop low, and make that look a little weird. But maybe he's just trying to catch it regularly and throw Rollins off guard when there's time for a sack fly.
Yeah, he's not going to show him everything immediately. For those who didn't hear, and Taylor alluded to it, with one out in the ninth inning, bases loaded is what Nova Southeastern had. All they had to do is get the guy on third in, and they hit a fly ball out to Lala, and when he went to catch the ball, he kind of crouched down and caught it about a foot off the ground. The runner on third then tagged and appeared to have scored, but by dropping down having the ball go another about 7 feet to the ground, it threw off the timing, and the runner was actually about 2 steps off the base, left early. Tampa would have had no chance to throw him out at the plate. They threw it to third. Umpire knew he tagged early, called him out. We went to the extra innings.
Arguably play of the season, saved the season as the Spartans came back, and that's the reason they're playing tonight. But again, that's just a heads-up play you love to see from Jordan Lala. He's done this type of stuff all season. He had props from it from Kevin Kiermaier on Twitter saying he did Lala things, and we even had a lot of coverage for that. And interesting to see him, of course, make a routine play out there. But so far, just a defensive masterpiece from him in the tournament. Gutting down runners at home, getting those balls in, masterful trick play. What can't Lala do?
1 ball, 2 strikes to Smith. And he did not go around. Stays 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Parker Smith, 304 on the season. As I mentioned, he's got some pop, 11 home runs. Santucci, the previous batter, with 14 to lead the team. Ball low, so we've gone full, 3-2.
That's the second full count we've seen so far. So Rollins trying to draw some longer at-bats and doing a good job of it, but so far Paul hasn't given up in these counts. Lee here.
Gets the sign and winds and fires. That looked pretty good. He does not get the call. Drew Earhart kind of bows his head like, wow, we didn't get that. A 1-out walk puts Smith at first.
Just on the edge, and that was a really close call. It's the type of call that will make Spartans fans say, oh, come on, stop helping Rollins. And for Rollins fans, they say, yep, that's the right call.
Yes.
But either way, puts a runner on, 1 out, double play possibility.
Not a base-stealing threat. Stolen 2 in 6 tries. So caught more often than not, so probably won't be running. Here's Coleman to the plate. Ryan Coleman, 276 on the year. And he slaps that one down the line, but foul. We have one camera up here. We can't move it left or right, so you will lose balls down the left and right field line.
That was pretty well hit and could have gotten down for extra bases, but sails a bit too far to the right. Just out of play.
Short lead for Smith, the pitch. Hit out toward Lala. He's running in, still coming in, makes a running catch, and chases Smith back to first.
That one had the feeling of a bloop that would have gotten down for a single, but Lala gets in front of it, loses his hat in the process, but picks it up, brings it in. And even though we saw Smith get a lead, he didn't go all the way, didn't fully commit, had plenty of time to get back. So still 2 outs, still a runner on first, but that helps Paul out quite a bit.
Meehan to the plate now. Center fielder. 284 on the year. Check swing, called strike. Rollins from Winter Park, Florida, near Orlando, just north of Orlando.
You could call this a war on I-4.
Yeah. Ground ball. Does it have eyes? Urso stops it, and he holds the throw smartly because basically just made sure the runner does not go to third. Runners at first and second with 2 out.
I was hit slow enough that would have made that a nearly impossible play. Urso did a great job of keeping it in the infield because if that rolls to the outfield, maybe Smith thinks, hey, I've got some time. Let me just sneak over to third. He could have probably gotten to it with the speed that ball was going. So Urso makes a heads-up play, and your instinct is to fire that to first, to try to make a highlight reel. But if that throw goes wide, it could bring a run home. So smart thing, hold on to it. You still have 2 outs, and try it again with the next batter.
Jared Herron to the plate, 305 on the year.
You see a lot of seniority in this Rollins lineup. 5 seniors on the starting lineup. Make that 6.
Right down the middle for a called strike. So 6 seniors, 2 left-handed batters. Spartans batting 4 lefties today. Paul has the sign into the stretch. Fouled out of play, behind us.
That's a disappointing play. The previous one to surrender your first hit to. But good play by Urso to make sure that didn't put you in a more perilous situation. Still a runner in scoring position, but any out ends the inning.
0-2 count coming up to Heron. Paul fires. Ground ball heading out to Urso. Takes a nice hop for him. He's going to gun it. In time to Sullivan to end the inning. That play seemed like it was slow motion for a while there, but he gunned it over in time. And they get out of the inning with just a hit. 2 runners left, though. We've played an inning and a half. Still no score at Tampa and Rollins on TampaSpartans.tv. Bottom of the second we go. Tampa will send up Urso, Lyons, Cumbo. Urso moved into the cleanup slot last weekend. Actually, I think he finally slid in last Sunday and is back there today. But it's a pretty potent Spartan lineup, actually all the way up and down.
Honestly, the top 6 are the best Spartan bats, but even players like Nunez, Malcolm, and Cadenas have known to have their days. We saw Cadenas hit his first home run of the season not too long ago.
Yeah.
And Nunez and Malcolm have always been consistent.
First pitch from Whitehead. Called strike.
Just taking a look up and down the Spartans lineup, there's no true weakness, apart from sometimes they just don't play well. And that's
Fouled back.
That's a reason that the Spartans are one of the best ranked in the nation and do have, of course, home field advantage throughout as long as they can go, up until potentially the College World Series up in Cary, North Carolina.
Urso third in batting in the SSC at 380. That one's hit out into center field. Meehan drifts back a little bit and makes a nice catch. Quick out. Dan Sullivan eighth in the conference at 365. Jordan Lala ninth at 358. This will bring up E.J. Cumbo to the plate, the right fielder.
Right before Cumbo, it's actually Lyons.
Lyons, take that back.
But Lyons as well, we know how dangerous he is, especially when you put him behind Dan Sullivan.
Yes.
The only thing you got to hope is that he doesn't do the whole copycat thing with that line out from Urso. That had some ride on it, but just not enough to clear the wall.
Feel free to hit it that hard.
Oh,
just
definitely.
Pull it somewhere.
Yeah.
First pitch, called strike.
Either pull it to the left and get it over the wall or hit it onto the ground where you will have Acuff and Torres miss the fielding.
Taylor's reference to copycat is because against Spring Hill last Thursday, second inning, Dan Sullivan homers. Jamarcus Lyons goes back-to-back. Later in the second inning, there's a pop-up, should be playable. And snagged by Jesselyn Whitehead. Calls off his brother, the pitcher, and 2 outs. And then getting back to that game, then Sullivan came up later in the second inning and homered. Jamarcus Lyons followed him and homered. So they went back-to-back in the same inning.
And you rarely see that. Players come up again 2 times in an inning and then hit 2 home runs back-to-back in that inning. So you could just see just how rare that game was for the Spartans.
Yeah. Cumbo at the plate now. I had a story earlier in the year. It was a kid playing at a Florida college, and I can't remember which one it was. His first collegiate at bat, he hit a grand slam, and then came up again and hit another grand slam.
That is incredible luck to have for that
just
first.
to have that timing where you come up with bases loaded twice. Ground ball heading out towards second. Stopped on a nice play. Does he have time? I think he beat it out. He did. Cumbo beats out the throw. Torres went down to the ground to get it. It's kind of spun around while he was on the ground. Couldn't get the throw there in time. A good play to try to get it there, but just took too long, and Cumbo beat it out. He'll be on first with 2 outs, and Anthony Nunez to the plate.
That's why you always run out those ground balls, because if it takes a weird hop and you can't field it cleanly, you'll end up getting a hit. Great play there by Torres to try to make that playable, but just a little bit too late. Gave all the effort, though, and that's what you love to see, giving effort.
I know we mentioned that last weekend, too. It's like, hey, you're only batting for a few minutes, if that long, so why not give it your best when you got a chance, because you just never know. What looks routine may not be. That is hit, but I think it's carrying foul. It does. If you look at the ballpark, we do this every game, but if you look at the ballpark in the outfield, you see the outfield wall with the red banners and then the yellow bar. That's the home run. But you see poles sticking out, and they're about 100 feet high. There's a big netting that encircles this whole ballpark. We've got a couple busy streets on the first and third base lines, got some dorm rooms, got some parking lots, so they try to snag every ball they can and keep it in. Not all of them do, but most of them stay. Here's the pitch. Check swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nunez.
The only dangerous part sometimes is if you get a routine foul ball that goes all the way over into the street to our left, Cass Street. It's pretty busy. A little bit less dangerous if it goes to the right. Gives the student a souvenir.
I was walking around here one time, and a ball did go over toward first baseline. One hopped and hit a Mercedes, but it was one hop.
Yeah,
so
one
it softened the blow a little bit.
Exactly, but
startled the driver, but
even one hop on a Mercedes can be scary.
Ball high, 2-2.
There's a sound clip that sometimes plays for foul balls over at the softball games. Sometimes a car getting hit. That's more of a joke for softball, but more of a reality occasionally for baseball.
Yes. 2-2 pitch. Whitehead to Nunez. He's gone 0-2 to 3-2. The good thing here is Cumbo can run on the pitch.
And note about Nunez as well, doing a great job extending the at-bat and keeping the inning alive, trying to get a pitch count up on Whitehead, who's been hot so far.
The pitch. Runner goes. It's a walk. Ball 4. Runners on first and second, and to the plate comes John Malcolm. Malcolm in the DH role today. Malcolm comes in. .315 hitter on the year, does have 3 home runs. This is his 32nd game. 73 at-bats, about half the at-bats some of the other guys have, some of the starters. But he's been very productive when he gets his opportunities.
He's definitely not a batter you want to face with 2 runners on. But the only solace there for Whitehead, 2 outs. You just need 1 to end the inning. But again, shows just how deep the Spartans lineup is. You have a 300 hitter at the 8 spot.
Swing and a miss.
And then, of course, on deck, if he gets a chance, Cadenas, we've already mentioned, hit his first home run of the year last week. So
Here's
you really
the pitch.
don't get a break.
1-1 on the way. That's high. 2-1. Malcolm twirls the bat. Whitehead gets set. Strike call, 2-2.
That was a slower call.
It was
weird.
very slow.
Wasn't sure whether he was going to point to first, but ultimately call a strike. I do like the energy because always keeping it fun from behind the home
I wasn't
plate.
sure if he was just stretching or was going to make the call. He eventually made the call. 2-2 pitch. That is hit to center field, going deep. Deep is Meehan, but he's got room, and near the warning track, pulls it in. He pulls it. It's a 3-run homer. Here, it's just a long out. We've played 2 full. No score. Tampa and Rollins right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
I pledged.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Top of the third we go in a scoreless game. That'll be the top of the order for the Tars. That'll be Ruben, Acuff, and Torres. Ruben got on via error in the first inning on a ball to Dan Sullivan. Drew Earhart, I think, is having a wardrobe malfunction. He's missing something. Maybe an earpiece. He might have this earpiece, which is allowed, where instead of having to look to the dugout to get the signs, they can just tell him.
Wonder if the batter starts to lean in and say, hey, I'm trying to listen.
That one's hit out into center field. Might be in the gap, giving chase. And Cadenas. Well, I tell you, Lala hit the brakes there just in time, and Cadenas made the catch. Both were in prime position to catch that one. Center fielder is the captain, and he made the call and made the catch. 1 up, 1 down.
And a good play right there. You saw Lala. His brakes are working, so you don't have a Charles Leclerc Monaco 2018 incident where he locks up and hits him in the rear, causing 2 errors for the drivers. Also, Monaco Grand Prix this weekend for any F1 fans. But, of course, they make the play clean. Both probably would have tracked that one down, even though it was right in the gap.
Acuff, ball outside. He struck out his first time up. There's a solid base hit into right field. Cumbo bobbles it. Acuff is going to stay, quickly throwing it back in. They'd have had him by a mile. Didn't get that far away. But a solid base hit, second hit of the game for the Tars. And it will bring Adams Torres to the plate, the second baseman.
I'll say somewhat a little sloppy fielding from the Spartans. We saw Cumbo not cleanly get that ball right there. And, of course, earlier we've seen Lyons bobble and take a fielder's choice instead of what could have been a double play. And Dan Sullivan, that initial error. Obviously, there wasn't an error from Lyons in that play. That was too high for him. But, again, that's something to watch out for. The Spartans aren't on their game for fielding. That could be dangerous.
First pitch to Torres. Ground ball. Nunez fields it foul. One thing to consider is the outfield got rained on pretty hard, and they really didn't do any work on the outfield. They just let nature soak in the stuff. So it might be a little slick out there. I was watching when Lala and Cadenas were converging there, if either one would slip trying to pull up, but nothing happened. The infield, they put down some of that turf dry stuff, or dirt dry. 0-1 pitch in the dirt.
You were mentioning the dirt as well. They actually had to repaint it before the game. We saw some Spartans players helping with that. And yeah, because there was quite a few puddles. We saw the tarp at home plate. Didn't do its job completely. Some water pooling up at the home plate area and around the edges. So you'll see some scattered patches of that dirt substitute and dirt dryers all around.
1-1. Ground ball heading out to Urso. Try to turn two. Gets one. The relay. Double play out of the inning. A nice 6-4-3 by the Spartans. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. The Spartans will send up Cadenas, Lala, Earhart right here on TampaSpartans.tv. Did you do men's and women's?
Oh, we're back. And
all right, we head to the bottom of the third. Spartans will send up 9-1-2. That's Cadenas, Lala, Earhart. In a scoreless game at this point. Not that far into it, but the pitchers have been dominant. The Tars with 2 hits, the Spartans with 1, but a nice 6-4-3 got the Spartans out of the inning. Cadenas to the plate.
So far, Whiteside only, Whitehead, not Whiteside, only 32 pitches, 1 walk and 1 strikeout.
Gets down the bunt. This could be tough. There's nobody covering, and he beats it out. Huge play by Jose Cadenas to see that one. Jesslyn Whitehead had to field it. There was no way his brother from the mound was going to get there, and it was hit just far enough inside the baseline that the race to the bag was going to be all Cadenas all the day.
Turned on the DRS, got the legs moving, and beat the play. An excellent bunt for hit, and he gets a runner to lead off for the inning. Now the question is with Lala, do they go small ball, get him to second?
I would not be surprised. We go back-to-back bunts. Lala did not show bunt, but it's a throw to first.
They're also respecting Cadenas' speed, trying to make sure he doesn't try to steal. Because if he does get to second, then a sacrifice bunt would put him all the way at third.
Yep. Lala does show bunt, pulls it back. The Tars were cheating at third. But that was just a perfectly placed bunt by Cadenas. Hit it crisply enough that Jalen Whitehead from the mound could not make the play. It got past him. Jesslyn was so far off the base he couldn't come back. Fouled off. Not able to make the play is Ruben as it goes too far foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
See Ruben very aggressive, trying to press up. I have a feeling that he's going to try to gun that one to second should the sacrifice bunt go down.
Still playing in. 1-1 pitch. Lala showing bunt again. Pulls it back, and it's a ball. 2-1. He leads the team. He leads the conference in walks by a sizable amount. He's got a really good eye at the plate.
Also noticed one time against Spring Hill, he was able to draw a walk by faking those bunts and pulling back in time. So that's an incredibly useful talent.
Pulls it back 3-1.
And just like that, like I said before, he's leading 3-1 in the count. if he goes for a bunt and there's another errant pitch, he will have advanced the runner and put himself on with a chance that a sacrifice bunt would really be dangerous.
Now, I don't know if a pitcher, if it bothers them or they pitch differently knowing a batter's bunting, but we're 3-1, shows bunt, gets it down the line. They make it. They're going to try to go to second. They get him. Little too crisply hit, and Ruben fielded it and got the throw there in time to get Cadenas. We don't see that often with Lala getting one a little too crisply. I thought for a second Ruben might let it go foul, but I think it was going to stay. It was about a foot fair. Brings up Drew Earhart.
Disappointing to get the runner out there, but a good play by Ruben. Heads up, gets the throw in time. And yeah, just a little too crisp. That's a disappointing thing. It's a good bunt in general, but for sacrifice, you want a little bit slower.
Popped up. That may be in play. They're giving chase near the Tars dugout. It is out of play. Bounces into the stands or the seated area. There are no bleachers there. People bring their own chairs. Scattered them.
It's the one dangerous place for foul balls. It's the only open area behind the plate. You sometimes will see a ball roll off the top tarps right there and onto the seats, but that's at a much slower velocity. Those can still get a little speed going down. You got to dive out of the way or bring a glove if you come to a game and try to make a Lala catch, scooping it.
0-1 pitch to Earhart. He calls time.
Earhart not doing so great in the tournament when it comes to hitting, but when he's hit, it's
one amazing hit.
Yeah, one amazing hit, even had a home run against Nova in their first game.
Ball outside.
He notably went 0 for 5 against Spring Hill, and that was when pretty much every Spartan was able to get at least like a home run or at least an RBI. So.
Oh, I remember we had Dan Sullivan coming up for the 8th time in the 8th inning.
Indeed.
Unprecedented. 1-1 pitched. Popped up. This one they will have a chance to play. Jesslyn Whitehead makes the catch and hands the ball back to his brother for 2 outs.
The 2 outs, and that brings up Dan Sullivan. He flew out last time, but you know that he's a man who can give you some offense when you need it the most. And with a runner on, he hits one well enough. You could try to send Lala home, one of the faster Spartans.
You know what? I might send Lala now because if he gets caught, Sullivan leads off the next inning.
Exactly. And Sullivan's a good enough bat where you wouldn't mind just having him alone. He can bring home run support just by himself. So I agree. Send Lala. Potentially on this first pitch here, catch him off guard off that foul.
Ball. He has 17 stolen bases, only been caught twice. That's just my own opinion on sending him now. No real damage. Swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss. 1-1 with 2 outs.
I actually think as well with a 1-1 count, you might as well go for it because, again, you bring up Dan Sullivan next inning. He's a very good batter. Wouldn't be too disappointed if he does get caught.
1-1. 2-1 now. The only tough part is it's a lot tougher to steal against a lefty. They have the move that makes you kind of lean back toward the bag instead of getting your momentum going.
Of course, you could also just then turn and fire immediately.
2-1 fouled off. That will be out of play. That might have scattered some cars out on Cass Street.
Great effort by Ruben, though. He ran all the way up to the
He gave
bullpen.
chase, yeah.
We've seen his legs working to try to track that down.
Two balls, 2 strikes now. Whitehead fires. Fouled off. 2-2 still.
Whitehead now over 45 pitches. Getting through 3 innings with about under 50 is still really good for a pitcher, but Spartans, knowing that Whitehead is the ace of Rollins' rotation, will want to try to tax that arm early and see if they can get to the bullpen, which they hope they might have a little bit better success on.
2-2. A little bit low. We've gone full. Good opportunity now for Lala to get the wheels going. Full count with 2 out. Scoreless game, bottom of the 3rd.
Fun part, 3-2 count. If Lala steals second, there's a really wild pitch. He could turn and go to third. He's got the speed to do so.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball, fielded by Whitehead. He'll just step on the bag. Inning is over. So we played 3 scoreless and a pretty good pitcher's duel going here. We head to the top of the 4th. All tied up. Tampa nothing, Rollins nothing on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Cats and Cradle.
Well, you saw her last weekend. I mean, she does not look. We head to the top of the 4th, and by the way, my broadcast partner, Taylor Stolworthy, will, soon as this series gets over, be heading to Elmira, New York, to be the play-by-play voice of the Elmira Pioneers of a collegiate summer league. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jack. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Not a lot of Tampa or local players from Florida in that league, but there is a player from Eckerd, so a little reminder of the Sunshine State Conference back home. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing opportunity. They're on YouTube. Feel free to check me out throughout the season. I'll be trying to commentate every single game that doesn't get rained out or there isn't a technical difficulty. But yeah, it's going to be great. And we still have 2 games left for the Spartans. And well, if we do lose one of them, hopefully 3 to move on to the next round of the NCAA play.
Keep the pitcher's duel going here.
Obviously, and I think Michael Paul will, as he's going to get first pitch right here, just outside ball 1. So Jesslyn Whitehead's going to lead off for Rollins. Grounded out last time after a ball hit off him, and he was limping a little bit back to the dugout, but shook it off, got back to playing first base. And now is able to get ahead 2-0 in the count. My colleague Jack and I, we've mentioned a pitcher's duel so far, but both teams 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 walks as well combined. So not a lot of runners able to get on base, although there have been a total of 6 stranded. That one is called strike, even though it did bounce off of Earhart's glove.
You'll notice, I don't know if they can see it that much on our broadcast, but Drew Earhart, when there's nobody on base, when he's catching, will extend his right leg out. Just a more comfortable position. Of course, he doesn't do it here. There he did. Okay.
That one's going to be grounded to Urso, and we'll have the throw in time. It is on target, and that's the first out of the inning. And indeed, we saw that Earhart, not a catcher by trade, but he's able to fill in. He's like players like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's like Kyle Farmer.
So versatile.
Who can just play both places, all around the infield, down at the catcher position. It's great to have a successful bat who can do both. Fill in as a versatile role almost anywhere in the team. It allows you to not have to stick them at a place where you know there could be a tough positional battle going on.
The point I was making when he sticks his leg out like that is he wouldn't do it with the runner on because there's no way he could come out of the crouch if the runner goes.
Exactly. Although with his arm from the infield, maybe he can try to get him from that pose.
I've seen people, major leaguers anyway, gun people out, never coming out of the crouch.
Yeah, Earhart not a major leaguer yet, but I know he has that dream. But we'll have to wait and see. Here's now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Goes to 1-1 for Santucci. I mentioned earlier, Santucci leads Rollins in home runs.
I think that might have clipped Drew in the... Ooh, maybe bounced off his chin or something.
Those are always dangerous. Remember, the catcher, they're taking the full brunt of those foul balls, foul tips.
And I always love it when the umpires will do this. They know they need to give the catcher some time, so they go out to the mound, talk to the pitcher, discuss nightlife in Tampa.
Bet that conversation goes like this. Hey, hey, is Ducky still open usually this late after the game? Yeah, I forgot to have dinner on the way here and didn't realize there was going to be a 2-hour rain delay. And I'm sure Michael Wall was like, oh, yeah, I should. You guys go stop by. I'm pretty sure our old friend Jack Ike will be there again.
He's the norm of Duckies.
1-1 now. That one's going to be ball 2, just taken outside.
Do you even know what that comment means, the norm of Duckies?
Yep. Actually, no, I don't.
Okay. Norm was a character on the sitcom Cheers. Whenever he walked in, people go, Norm!
There's one that's going to be sent deep. Will it land at the gap or will it clear? It will be, I think, caught at the wall by Cadenas. No. It's going to land. They're going to get it to third. In snow, not in time. That is a great triple there. I'm honest, I got confused, hard to see the ball, but it gets down at the wall. Cadenas picks it up, fires it in. Maybe a mere second or step away from a tag, but Santucci makes it a triple with 1 out. Huge play for Rollins, and the first time for any team a batter has got to third base. We saw a runner get thrown out from third last time that Tampa faced Nova, but this time Rollins makes it work, and now a sac fly. We see the deep infield trying to make sure a run can't score.
Well, this tells you how important 1 run is in this game. 4th inning, they're pulled in.
Indeed. I mean, now we did see Nova capitalize in a situation like this. There was an infield ball, threw it to first, and it was Tio Epstein who just decided to gun it home, and he made it. He beat Sullivan's throw back and was able to make it a 2-2 game. That was, of course, the game that went 12 innings. That game could have been over in 9 if it hadn't been for that play. That one's going to be taken outside ball 1, but an important bat right here for Smith. If he's able to put a difficult-to-field enough ball in play, Rollins could take a very important lead. All you need is 1 run to try to get the advantage for tomorrow's Game 2 of the series. Swing and a miss. That's going to be 1-2. Paul would love to get a second strikeout and allow his infield to return to normal depth. He also has a couple free bases. If he does want to be cautious, he has a few pitches to kill. And even a walk wouldn't be deadly. 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for Rollins. 1-2. Just outside. Ball 2. That was close. It's close, but no cigar. Smith still in it. 2-2. On deck, we see Coleman. Barring a double play, he'll get a shot. Paul getting ready for pitch number 50. 2-2. That's going to be a line drive, but it's going to be caught. Lions can't turn it to third in time. And a play that looked like it was going down the middle and would have given Rollins a lead. It goes right to Lions. He makes a very calm play. Looks to third, but Santucci's back in time. 2 outs.
You know, I tell you what, if they weren't playing in, Lions doesn't make that catch. Because he's in an entirely different spot, and that goes through for a hit. So kudos to Joe Urso for moving him in and getting the play.
If Lions is at that umpire, he's able to pick up a ground ball and get one out, but it does bounce once, and that lets Santucci just stroll on home and give Rollins a lead. So infield shift works the advantage. Times where it doesn't, times where it does. This time it does. 2 outs, runner on third. First pitch, ball 1.
You know, going back to that triple, I noticed one thing with the umpires. We have 4 of them at the game today. As soon as that ball was hit into the outfield, the second base umpire raced out towards center field to check on the catch. Third base umpire went to second base thinking the runner might be heading there. Home plate umpire went to third and made the call.
That's a good teamwork by the umpires. Teamwork in the outfield, as that's going to be a simple catch by Lala, makes it happen. Spartans get out of the jam. There is 1 hit, but no runs as he gets straighted on third. Still a tied game. Spartans coming up next. Urso, Lions, and Cumba. We'll be back on Tampa Spartans TV with more NCAA Super Regional Baseball.
Welcome to the University of Tampa. My name is Tucker Whitman, and I'm a junior marketing major here at UT. Today we're going to look at some of the highlights of our beautiful Riverside campus here in downtown Tampa. We'll start at Plant Hall. This historic building was opened in 1891 as the Tampa Bay Hotel, and now serves as the main academic building here at UT. With 4 floors of classrooms as well as faculty and administrative offices. Next up, the Vaughn Center, the hub of campus life and activities. This multi-purpose building includes the campus bookstore, our primary cafeteria plus an additional food court, a theater, as well as offices and meeting rooms for student organizations. The Vaughn Center is also one of UT's residence halls, providing 5 floors of student rooms. Morsani Hall is another residence hall here at UT. In addition to housing approximately 450 students, this building offers another selection of eateries as well as a small grocery store. Now let's check out the Sykes College of Business. This academic building houses classrooms and faculty offices for UT's undergrad and graduate business students. This building also has a real-time stock trading room. Right next door is the Sykes Chapel for Faith and Values. This gorgeous interfaith chapel features a large main hall complete with a massive pipe organ as well as meditation room.
J.D. Urso leads off for the Spartans, bottom of the 4th inning underway. Rollins got a runner to third, but couldn't send him home. So the game will stay tied. And so far, it's been a true pitcher's duel. Whitehead, 48 pitches so far. That one's going to be strike 1 in the inside corner. That was close, a little bit off speed, and fools Urso. Here's the 0-1. That one's popped up and should be the first out. There's a chorus in the infield, and they'll make the call. Torres gets the solo, hits the right notes, and that's out number 1. Urso goes to 0 for 2 today.
You know, I don't know if he's throwing a certain kind of pitch, but that's the 3rd pop-up that they've caught. 2 of them by Whitehead at first, and now 1 at Torres at second. So it's almost 1 an inning.
Tampa just getting under the ball there, and that's definitely disappointing. We know it's a team that can hit with power, but good job there by Whitehead to make sure his balls aren't getting the hard contact that the Spartans want. Instead, weak contact for weak pop flies. And as you mentioned, Lyons, he had a pop fly last time up too. Here's the 1-1. He's going to pop that one up. That had some power,
That
but
may reach the outfield, though.
and it'll reach the outfield, but this time it's going to be a catch made by Coleman, 2 away. And so after a pretty few longer innings, we saw ultimately 18 pitches, I think, close to on average for Whitehead the first 3. He's now at 2 outs, only 5 pitches so far. So now you want Cumbo to get a slightly longer at bat, because realistically, you'd love Whitehead to start to reach 80, 90 pitches by inning 6 to give your offense another full round aboard against what could be a reliever who does have a couple slip-ups. Whitehead really hasn't all day. Actually, we're going to have a conference between Jimenez and White just saying, hey,
give it to me again. Need it verbally.
Exactly, just trying to tell him, okay, here's what you got to do, strategize, and what you need to do to beat him.
He said, I'm thinking if he could hit it over that yellow bar.
I think that would be very good.
That'd be really nice.
I have a feeling Cumbo had that exact same thought as he was stepping up to the plate. I have a feeling that's a thought shared by Urso and Lyons, but didn't go their way that time. So far, Cumbo had a single and was able to reach second in his previous at-bat. He'd like that again. Here's the 0-0. That one's going to be low, ball 1. So 3 2/3, and he's only surrendered 3 base runners. That one in the outside corner, strike 1. That one's going to go, and ooh, I'm going to be honest, the previous one looked more like a ball than that one, so I think probably still would have had a 2-1 count, but maybe flip those calls around a little. Here's down the 2-1. Cumbo, this time it's strike 2.
Yeah, we got to the same result in different directions.
Exactly, just take a little different pathway, do one of the functions in the other order, but now here's the 2-2 for Cumbo. Swing and a miss, and no, we actually got it. He tipped it.
Yep.
So that's a lucky tip. He stays alive.
So take advantage of it.
And it's actually Urso over at third base. I was confused at first on who it was, but it was Urso giving the conference, mini conference to Cumbo. But now here's the 2-2 to Cumbo, 2 outs. Very fast-paced play from Whitehead. And that hit him
in the back.
That's
the
gonna,
hip.
Yeah, it's going to leave a mark, but he's going to just give a clap saying, oof, hurts, but I'll take the free base.
Sure.
We definitely could use it. So 2 outs. Runner goes on. Wasn't intentional, but I think the ump's just going to say, hey, just be careful with those. Runner on, 2 outs, and Nunez will step aboard. Drew a walk last time. We know Nunez is a switch hitter. He's obviously going to stay righty against a righty. He wouldn't voluntarily give himself that platoon disadvantage. Runner on, 2 outs. Swing and a miss right there.
Boy, way ahead of that one.
Uncharacteristic of Nunez to be very ahead, but
I think he was thinking fastball all the way and didn't get it.
Whitehead changing that one up. Figuratively and literally, that was more of a changeup.
Yes, exactly.
Count goes to 1-1 for Nunez. Cumbo on first. He's going to get a lead, but I don't imagine he goes right now. Ready from the stretch. That one lands right in the zone, low corner, strike 2. I think Nunez a little disappointed with that. He's worked himself really good counts before, but finds himself trailing here. They were able to extend the inning after getting 2 outs relatively quickly, though, so there'll still be a little more work to do for Whitehead. Can he finish it here? 1-2. Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Gets to the outfield, so now we're going to see Cumbo get to third. So the stolen base works. The throw from Heron just evades the glove of Torres, and that is going to bring Cumbo all the way to third. So as the count now goes 2-2, there's a lot more pressure on the shoulders of Whitehead, because if he slips up here and Cumbo gets a ball in play, you know that Nunez is running home to give the Spartans a lead. So similar situation than last time. 2-2.
Heron's throw bounced about 10 feet in front of the base and then just eluded Torres at second.
That one low.
Just missing.
Just low. You see some groans from Rollins as that was close, but I think the call there just a couple inches low of the zone. It broke well, but broke a little too far. Full count now. Nunez would like it if he got a walk and gave Malcolm another shot. That is what he'll get.
What about high?
So working the 1-2 count to a walk, his second of the game. Nunez doing a great job drawing walks throughout the entirety of the tournament. And now he's going to bring up Malcolm, who's already proven to be a dangerous hitter, despite the platoon disadvantage. He flew out last time.
Well, he flew out 380 in a 390 park is what he did, unfortunately. His first time up.
It's painful when you see a home run or ball that could have been a home run at another park, but for Tampa, that ball's just a little too far. He's got now a chance to redeem himself a little, get 2 runners on, 2 outs. Swing and a miss at that one. It was a good slider that fooled Malcolm that time. You can see it was a slider as he had to see Heron get to the dirt, keep that in front. At this point, a wild pitch could see Nunez get to second and Cumbo strut on home. So obviously you need to be careful if you're Whitehead not to have a bait pitch slip all the way away. Here's the 0-1. And you can tell Malcolm just wants to get a piece of it. He's not able to. Count goes 0-2.
I think he didn't dial down on that one either.
Indeed, and maybe if you're Ursa, you're saying, hey, listen, just calm down. All we need is a ball in play. You don't need to take it out of the park. I know you'd certainly like to, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. You just don't want to strike out. 0-2. This time he gets enough power to escape the netting, but unfortunately that's just going to be a souvenir for a passerby. That
might have bounced in a car window.
Yeah. Maybe a kid's got a glove from a baseball practice, and oh, look at that. Free souvenir. Count stays at 0-2 after the foul. From the stretch, here's Whitehead. Runner goes. Throw to second. Nunez stays home. Throw back to third.
He's safe.
So they're going to get the stolen base. Disappointment there for Rollins fans. As
Pretty sure he was safe.
They had Cumbo maybe out, but almost a trick play. You could have seen Cumbo try to steal home off of that. But gets Nunez to second. Cumbo to third. 1-2.
You know, if they let that ball go all the way to second and try to get Nunez, they don't get him, Cumbo crosses.
1-2. Fouls that one away. Stays alive. And indeed, a heads-up play could have gotten Cumbo out. He hesitated for a second. It was a close enough play to generate a reaction from Rollins, so I'll tell you something. 2 outs, 1-2 count. Now a more dangerous Champ with 2 runners in scoring position. How does Whitehead deal with it? And strike 3 in the outside corner. The side is retired. And the Spartans get nothing off an error and walk as we enter the top of the 5th inning. Still a tied game at the NCAA Super Regional. Spartans lead in not the hits category. They're trailing 3-2 there. Still 0-0.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Meehan leads off for Rollins. We're back top of the 5th inning. Spartans stranded 2 runners on 3rd and 2nd to end the bottom of the 4th. So both teams getting agonizingly close to scoring their first runs of the game, but they can't do it just yet. Paul and Whitehead stay clean. First pitch there, strike 1, just on that inside corner to the righty. Meehan got a single last time. One of the 3 hitters to get aboard with hits for Rollins. That one's going to be ball 1. That was close. It looked like he was turning to say strike 2. But again, the home plate umpire, Kevin Flay, a little tricky with those calls. Hard to read sometimes from the booth. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. That time it's strike 2. Still tied here, 1-2 count. Paul doing a better job of limiting his pitches, only at 55 from the stretch. Here's 56. Swing and a miss. That's going to be his second strikeout of the game. And he's going to be able to retire Meehan to open the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Heron, the catcher. So just a look around the rest of the NCAA tournament.
All right, we've got, there are 8 regionals, super regionals going on this weekend. Some of them are on the West Coast, haven't started yet, but Atlantic Super Regional, East Stroudsburg beat Westchester 11-10 today. And in the Midwest Super Regional, Quincy beat Illinois Springfield 20-5.
That's a big win for a Super Regional. That's a big win behind that ball. It's going to get to the outfield for a single. We're not going to see Heron try to turn 2. 1 out, runner aboard now. He took the first pitch and sent it to the outfield. Good hit there. He grounded out last time. Doesn't ground out this time.
One other regional going on, the East Super Regional in Southern New Hampshire beat Malloy 7-5. They've already played the second game as Malloy then came back and beat Southern New Hampshire 6-5. So they'll play for a championship tomorrow.
That's the high-pressure Game 3 that we could see for Spartans Rollins. That's going to be a question answered tomorrow. Game right now at 1, but could be rescheduled. We'll keep you posted. Always check the Spartans site. If you're a Rollins fan, check the Rollins site for up-to-date information. Ball 1 taken right there.
We were told it will be a 3 o'clock start tomorrow instead of 1 o'clock. And there's no rain currently in the forecast, though there was none today as well.
As Tampa, those showers can pop up at any time.
And that's exactly what happened.
Here's the 1-0 now to Rubin. That one's low, ball 2. Rubin got on base via error in the first. A very rare Dan Sullivan error, but didn't get on base the second time because of that error. He's 0 for 2, but he is ahead of the count now against Paul. We've seen Paul be closer to letting runs home than Whitehead, apart from that incident in the bottom of the 4th. Have to see. Rollins trying to figure that one out. That one's going to be strike 1 in the low corner. 1 out, double play still active. Lyons and Urso will need to be heads up at second. So will Nunez at third. You can even see Dan Sullivan try to make a play there. That would mean Paul would have to run over to first. Squares up with a bunt, but pulls away. 3-1 count now. Still top of the fifth here. Runner on. Heron not the most dangerous, but again, a wild pitch turns him into a potential runner in scoring position. And it is going to be ball 4. So Ruben works a walk, and that'll bring 2 runners on with 1 out. That is the second walk conceded from Paul, and that has been a rarity this season. We mentioned the 4-to-1 strikeout ratio. A little bit farther from it today. And we are going to see a conference at the mound. You've seen a little bit of stretching action in the bullpen, some going back and forth, but this won't be a pitching change yet. But again, high-pressure game. The Spartans won't hesitate to bring in someone to try to keep things quiet.
The Spartans are sending somebody down. I think that might be Braden Nelson.
I think
32
so.
heading down. Nobody has started yet. Sam Militello, the pitching coach, making the mound visit. And he typically just goes out to talk strategy, calm them down. Nelson, the conference and region relief pitcher of the year, did a heck of a relief pitching job in the regional last weekend.
He
came in first inning, second inning?
And then went the distance through nearly 6 innings and was able to help Tampa take a very important win. And then he even came on the next day against Nova Southeastern, pitched an inning to just try to keep it quiet. Wasn't perfect as a strikeout in the dirt led to a run scoring, but we know he's very lethal, and at this point we know how far he can go. He could go the rest of the game should he enter now. First pitch here, that's going to be ball 1, just a little low to Acuff, and he got on base via single last time.
Spartans also sending Cameron Serrata down to the bullpen.
Spartans not messing around. Serrata and Nelson, their 2 best relievers. I think they just want to see whether they would want to bring him in for Santucci or Whitehead. Righty or lefty could make a difference for who you want to pull in then. 1-0, that one's going to be strike 1. Low and in the zone. Still only 1 out, so again, that runner at second does pose a bit of a threat. One count, 1 out. Heron and Ruben on from the stretch. Just outside and a little bit low, ball 2. The pressure definitely on. Postseason fixtures always the hardest for teams, especially pitchers. They're the loneliest man on the diamond. They've got 9 players around them, but sometimes that mound can be one of the loneliest spots. Umpire will call time for 1 second. See Acuff just rubbing the spot, trying to get a good enough holding for his feet, not wanting to slip up on a swing. 2-1. He's going to line that up the middle. That's going to roll to center field. Cadenas picks it up. The throw. That's in time, but he can't pick it up. Rollins takes a 1-0 lead. Heron goes all the way home from second. The throw got in time, but Earhart, a second too early on the tag. He needed to be. But the ball slips out, and that is a crucial single. Runners on second and first still. 1 out. And Rollins have struck first. An important thing to note, back in the regional at Tampa, the team that scored first always came out on top in the tournament. And if that trend is to continue, that's bad news for the Spartans.
That was last weekend.
And good news for the Tars. It's a new weekend. That's what the Spartans are hoping for. But again, in a pitcher's duel like this, that is crucial.
Throw was close. Drew Earhart tried to swipe, and it hit the top of the mitt and bounced away. They might have had him had it stayed in his mitt.
It did. In fact, I think he did have him, but just falls out. That one's going to be taken low, ball 1. So Torres grounded into a double play last time. 5-4.
That would be welcome again.
It certainly would for the Spartans. It would help put a bandage over the wound that was caused by that single from Acuff. He improves to 2 for 3 on the day, so great job from the plate for him. That's a line drive to center. Cadenas tracks back, makes the catch. It will allow Ruben to get to third, though. So it's a productive out, as runners will be at the corners, 2 away.
Spartans are sticking with Cameron Sereda to warm up. Nelson is out there but not throwing. Sereda is a lefty. Nelson is more your closer. But they sent him down just to be in position. Sereda's been the middle reliever a number of times this year. Both are stellar pitchers.
They definitely were ready to bring in Nelson as a high leverage if the score was still tied, but now again, score's not tied. You might as well save him. He could have a more important outing later in the game. Throw back to first, almost catches Acuff off guard, but he's back in time safely. As you mentioned, Sereda, probably the more likely option coming in from middle relief. Could see him come in for the 6th inning, or if you want to trust Paul a little bit longer, maybe inning number 7. Here's the pitch now. Just outside, ball 1. So you know Jesselyn Whitehead up here. He'd love to help his brother out by generating some run support. He's got a run at third. All he needs to do is keep a ball in play that turns to a hit to do so. That one that could. Line drive to the center, but Cadenas is on it. And that'll end the inning. Not before a run comes home on 2 hits. Rollins strikes first. Can the Spartans strike back? Find out our NCAA Regional Super Regional Baseball coming up right after this.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. Students are within walking distance of jobs and internships, and the recreational opportunities are endless, both off-campus and on campus. Students live in upscale residence halls and enjoy diverse activities, including performing arts, guest lectures, nearly 200 clubs and organizations, and a nationally ranked NCAA.
We are back at the University of Tampa campus. Super Regional Baseball underway. Rollins struck first and took the lead in the top half of the 5th inning. Spartans have a chance to respond. Cadenas pops that one up and backward. That'll be foul.
Cadenas, if you remember, got on with that great bunt, but then got tossed out at second on the sacrifice bunt.
2 well-hit bunts, one of them less well hit in terms of helping the team. That one's going to go inside ball 1. But indeed, he laid a really good bump before, so you have to wonder if Whitehead and Ruben might be playing a little more inward as a result. He's now ahead 2-1 in the count. He's going to send that to right. It should be playable, though. It is. And that's going to be out number 1. Smith comes up with the play and retires Cadenas. Lala will step up now. 0 for 2 today. Tail of the tape for Rollins and Tampa. In total, these teams have played each other quite a few times, but the Spartans have the lead over Rollins in the series 57-13, along with a singular tie. Now, on the road, Rollins 3-31, as well as the singular tie, against the Spartans when playing here, but they'll need to try to flip the script and get 2 wins if they want to get to the College World Series. But so far, they've had a good start with that, as the count goes to 1-1 now for Lala. Fielder's choice off the hard hit last time. Count goes 2-1. Whitehead has had a pretty dominant run so far from the mound. 2 hits, 2 walks, also 2 strikeouts, and no one's come anywhere close to getting to home except back in the 4th inning. Here's pitch number 78 from him. And that one's going to be driven deep and going to be made in left field. Makes the catch. Coleman gets the second out. Spartans getting some air under it, but not enough to clear that yellow bar that you mentioned, Jack. And there are now 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Drew Earhart's going to step up.
They've had a lot of fly-outs. They've had 3 pop-ups to the infield. At the moment, though, everything has been playable.
So as you can see, maybe Whitehead a little more of a fly ball pitcher. Gives you better on the average front, but it means when it comes to slugging, it's more dangerous. Bunt goes down, stays fair, and if you look at the play, Ruben just can't find the ball, and that's going to be a very nicely placed bunt from Earhart to keep the inning going.
Well, it probably was a little distracting having your pitcher jump over the ball while you're moving in to make the play. Great bunt by Drew, not known as a bunter to get on base. He's oftentimes bunting to move a runner, but caught him off guard there as he was definitely bunting for a hit.
Now that was the sacrifice Lala needed last time. That would have been slow enough to get both runners safe.
Yep.
But Earhart gets it this time and keeps the inning alive for Dan the Man Sullivan as he fouls that one off. We've seen it before. He doesn't care about a lefty-lefty platoon. He's still going to hit that ball hard as you see that one go very much foul. But so far, he hasn't been able to do much today. 0 for 2, an uncharacteristically slow start. You could argue he's due for a hit here. He's going to now drive that.
I guess
deep.
you're right.
That should be in the gap unless it's caught. And it is. That could tie the game. Earhart's going to go home. The throw in. Cut off. Not in time. Spartans tie it up off the bat of Dan Sullivan. 15th RBI for the tournament. And right back, the Spartans respond. What a time to get it. And that's going to bring up Urso with 2 outs and a runner. Again in scoring position.
You called it. You said he was probably due. Put it right in the perfect spot. Kind of where Drew Earhart hit his against Nova Southeastern last weekend. And the advantage the Spartans had there was 2 out as Drew has just had the motor running all the way.
Exactly, because when there's run out, you're a little bit cautious, maybe only getting
the
third.
Gotta let it fall. Yep.
2 out, you're running no matter what.
I would have a feeling some people in Palatine, Illinois cheering right now, Dan's brothers.
Indeed, the Sullivan family
parents,
absolutely
grandparents.
loving that, and Sullivan on fire this tournament. Another huge play, hitting at the right time. Strike 1 taken inside right there. Seeing that left-hand side of the zone, I think a little more leeway for pitchers in terms than batters, but also right-hand of the zone has been more the batter's corner where they get a couple more balls. So here's the 1-1 now to Urso. That one's going to be, like I said, off speed and a little bit to the right. So maybe a little bit different established zone, something Whitehead, something Paul, and something these batters just need to get used to over the course of 9 innings. 2-1 now to Urso. Swing and a miss. Count goes 2-2. 2 outs. Whitehead wanting to get out of the inning. And again, put a bandage on the little boo-boo there from Dan Sullivan. And keep this game tied. And this pitcher's duel still going strong. No one warming up yet in Rollins' bullpen. They're trusting Whitehead to finish the inning. That's going to be grounded. Takes an odd hop, but fielded in time. And that will end the inning. So, Spartans score 1 run on 2 hits, just like Rollins did, as they respond right back to tie it up. Top of the 6th coming up next. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Rollins due up. More Super Regional Baseball next.
I
am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity.
On my team,
on my campus and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
We are back at UT Baseball Stadium. We've had an exciting game, and the offense has finally come alive in the fifth inning. 2 runs coming home. We saw Dan Sullivan send one deep into the gap. Thought it could have been number 6 in the air. Instead, it's his 15th RBI of the NCAA tournament, and it comes at an important time. Keeps the game tied, and we are going to see Paul ready to go. A 6th inning of work. Only 1 earned run off 5 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. 70 pitches so far. But we do see Serrata. He's warmed up and ready to come into middle relief if he needs. Santucci leads off for Rollins. He had a triple in his previous plate appearance.
So not a huge power outburst in the inning, but we finally had something happen.
For this game, it's a huge one because we have seen some dominant pitching displays. But indeed, when you're talking about a team that did put up 35 runs, it's only a little blip instead of a nuclear explosion. Here's the 0-1 now to Santucci. Swing and a miss, so some more stuff being shown from Paul a little bit later. He's got 2 strikeouts. Would want number 3 to retire the king home run hitter for Rollins. That one's outside, ball 1. Rollins close to Orlando, as we mentioned. Tampa being, Tampa.
Smack dab in the middle of Tampa.
You could argue this is a war on I-4, but in terms of D2 instead of D1, less glamorous than Bulls Knights, but Tar Spartans is still quite a fight. Here's the 1-2 now to Santucci. And did he go? No, he held up in time. That was close. But at third base, Nate Starr says no cigar. He held up. Count goes to 2-2 now.
One of the advantages of having 4 umpires, it gave him a much better angle than if having to ask somebody who's standing behind the pitcher during the regular season.
Exactly. It's a lot easier. That one's going to be low and to the outside. Count goes full. See, umpires in positions that just, make plays easier sometimes can get calls that you maybe would have missed in the regular season. So that always is a what-if factor. 2 umps. Does he say, oh no, I think he did go around? We'll never know. Full count here. Santucci still 1 for 2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Paul. And that is going to be the first out of the inning. A good start there for Paul.
Came in with the heat, kept it low inside, hard to turn around on it. Got the K.
3 big whiffs to put another one up on the board. 1 out now. Time for Smith to try to do some damage at the plate. He walked and lined out. He wanted to line that one deep, but misses it. We hear the pop in the glove, as that one's going to be strike 1. The sophomore, a local player from Orlando, Parker Smith. That one. Good job of fooling him that time, and now he's got a very nice pitcher's count 0-2 to Smith from the stretch. Just high.
Boy, he put that one close enough that Smith had to really contemplate swinging, but just a little bit enough away.
Always a dangerous pitch because you never know if it's going to drop down or stay high. Now here's the 1-2.
Oh,
this time it's a breaker. Oh. In an attempt to stay unbiased.
I think it stayed high.
That is just a 50-50 call, but honestly, even if that was a Spartan at the plate, I think that would have been a strike. I
think it just stayed high.
Just a little high, I think. A good try to frame it by Earhart. Count goes to 2-2. You heard some groans from the crowd. And no groans that time.
Nope.
This time it's a consultation. First base ump says
I'm not sure what they were asking. I don't even know if he attempted.
0-2 goes to full into. 3-2 count. 1 out. Here would be pitch number 82 for Paul. Swing and a miss.
Way to battle back there.
For Smith, that's a disappointing end to the at-bat, but the dugout can say, listen, we're trying to get him to run out of gas. We don't want him to go the entire distance. He's been hard to face, so good job to really bring up the count. You've seen it jump from 70 to 82 already, and you've still got another batter to go. Coleman's flown out twice so far, and 2 outs. He wants to keep the inning alive for Meehan on deck. One of the 3 sophomores in the lineup. That one wasn't hit soft. That was hit very hard, but also very foul. As you guys definitely lost track of it by the time it reached the first base line because of the dead corner that our cameras can't cover.
Trust us, it was foul.
Yeah. You won't be able to see it, but again, Jack and I, we're pretty trustworthy folks. That one's going to be fouled, and I think that does escape the netting.
It did. You have not lied to me about a foul ball this year. I know that for a fact.
And you know, that's not a trend that'll start now. 0-2 count to Coleman. Chance to try to get out of the inning. That one's lined, but foul. That one looked similar to a Dan Sullivan home run against Spring Hill, but that one's a little bit easier. We just see it go a little bit too far to the left.
Ball about 10 feet.
And keep in mind as well the shorter right-handed, left-hand walls, making it easier for those types of line drives to escape the park.
It's about 330 down the lines, 390 to center here.
Gives you a little advantage if you're at the plate. So here we go. 0-2 count still after that foul ball. Paul ready to go from the mound. And the stretch. That one's going to be lone inside. Ball 1.
Look at on the third baseline how far Nunez is off the base. They're assuming he's going to pull it.
Dangerous thing is, if he hits it opposite down the line, that's easily 2. Right now, didn't have a chance to try to get that opposite. That was very low for ball 2.
So you've got Nunez playing almost short. You've got Urso, the shortstop, playing almost behind second. Jamarcus Lyons, the second baseman, playing well to the first base side.
So you do see a pretty deep shift here, 2-2. Close, but ball 3. So he's worked another full count. That's the third one Paul's faced this inning. So he has not had a very easy time, as he's now 1 pitch away from 90. It would come on the next pitch, not this one. Full count, 2 outs. He's going to get under that and foul away. One thing I noticed for Tampa, a lot slower when it comes to pitching, a little more methodical. For Rollins, they've been faster. And I will say for Rollins, when it comes to their pitching, it's sometimes harder to try to get in a little fun factor thing in between a pitch. Here for Tampa, got plenty of time.
Well,
they converse and get everything set.
Just save it.
So here we go, 3-2 count right here one more time after yet another foul ball. Pitch number 90 from Paul on the way. Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. It takes him quite a few pitches, but he still gets 1, 2, and 3 down swinging. 5 for the game. Still tied. Bottom half of the 6th up next in this first game of the NCAA South Region Super Regional.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
We are back at Tampa Baseball Stadium. Rollins struck out 3 times in the last inning, and the question is, will Whitehead be able to do the same against the Spartans? Up first is Jamarcus Lyons, and he's flown out and popped out. He's not going to want to go down swinging. Here's the first pitch. Strike 1, down low and inside the zone. So a beautiful night in Tampa. That one's going to be grounded to short. Picked up. Lions can't beat the throw. Out by, well, I'd say quite a bit of distance. I was going to say if it was close, but not really. That was a good play by Acuff to get onto it and get the first out of the inning. EJ Cumbo ready to go. 1 for 1. Was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. And he's got a chance to try to keep a nice little hitting streak alive. Even though one of those hits he had was a literal one from the ball, not from his bat. That one's just outside, ball 1. And right now we are about to get to 10:10 p.m. here in Tampa, East Coast time, 1-0. And this game was slated to start at 6. Would have definitely been over at this time, but rain pushed it back a little bit. So we're going to have a little late-nighter one in front of the lights. That one's a line drive. What a catch by Whitehead at first. Brother helping brother for out number 2. And that was a really well-hit ball, but a really well-made catch. And we do think it was on the screen, thankfully. So fans at home, whether you're Rollins or Spartans fans, were able to see it. What a play that was. No runners on, wouldn't have scored a run, but still a very important stop. And it's going to bring up Nunez. And so far, Nunez hasn't had an official at-bat. He drew 2 walks. The only 2 walks that Whitehead from the mound has surrendered. Tries for a bunt, and didn't go around. Ball 1. So close one there, but at first base, Ryan McCraney says, nope, he held out. That one, we've seen that breaker quite often from Whitehead, land nicely in the zone. Count goes to 1-1 now. That one's popped up but out of play, despite the effort from both Rollins players. They're just going to have to watch as that goes all the way behind. A couple Rollins players just climbing back to pick it up. One of those involved, number 16, Nick Santucci. 1-2 count here for Nunez. We've seen him work out of this count before. Ball high, ball 2. Two now for Nunez. Swing and a miss. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Whitehead. And the Spartans also go down in order. Still a 1-1 game. What a pitcher's duel we've had at Tampa Spartans TV. Stay tuned as the final 3 innings, or potentially longer, come up after this.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
So we are back at UT Baseball Stadium, rejoined full-time by my colleague Jack Ike. And Jack, that pitcher's duel, after the quick little pause in the 5th inning, has really resumed here.
Yeah, I'd say it's still a pitcher's duel. Each team got 1 run in 1 inning, and now we've got the return to normalcy. Now I think it's a question of stamina. Who can go the longest before they wear out?
And the big question is, how long can Paul go? He's at 90 pitches after a lengthy last inning, 3 strikeouts, but he went to full counts every single time.
Yeah, no base runners, but still a lot of pitches. So 90 on the pitch count. I think the one thing that might help both pitchers in terms of not wearing out, which may seem contradictory to what I'm going to say, is it's warm enough that they're staying plenty loose. There's one hit out into left field, deep. Lala gives up on it. It's 2-1. Rollins takes the lead on one that hit about 30 feet up, and Meehan just cranks one into left field. 2-1 Tars.
Well, safe to say we were wondering how long Paul could go, but with that one, the car sputters coming around the final corner, and Rollins with the overtake. They take a lead here, and that was just a good shot. You can't really say anything else about that. A big hit there as Meehan takes it yard. First one we've seen of the Super Regional. Potentially we'll see more over the weekend. But for Rollins, they're back in the lead, 2-1. Maybe did those long at-bats in the previous inning do too much.
Paul to Heron now. That's a ball outside.
So even though you see some action in the bullpen, Urso still trusting Paul right here.
I believe we've got a catching change, and I think we've got a couple other substitution changes. Josh Rulai is in at catcher. Drew Earhart has gone to second. So more than likely, Jamarcus Lyons has been subbed for. Strike call.
Heron, so far, he's done well today, and he'd love to keep up that momentum from his teammate, Meehan. And Meehan, of course, hitting the 8 spot, still took it yard.
That one's popped up. Should be playable. Cumbo drifting over toward the line, makes the catch in fair territory for the first out.
Good job by Cumbo to track that down and get the out going. I think what's important for Paul here, as I have a feeling Urso wanted to try to complete the 7th inning, is to just shake off that home run. It's one bad pitch. He still had a great game, and he wants him to just finish off strong. He's got the top of the order to deal with, but so far, Ruben 0 for 2 with a walk.
Paul gets set, and his first pitch to Ruben. Ball a little bit high. So I won't espouse any more about how Paul might still be warm because of the heat and staying loose, because the very next pitch was hit out. So swing and a miss there.
At that point, having that pitch go out feels like an ice cube. It's just rolled down your spine. Yeah. Very uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, definitely so.
Especially when runs have been so hard to come by today.
That looked good. Catches the corner. You know, when the Spartans were down 1-0, you think you got to score a run anyway if you're going to win the game 1-0. So get that run, tie it up, and then we'll see what happens from there. Now Rollins has made it a 2-1 game, but the Spartans would. There's a ground ball heading out to Earhart now playing it, and he bobbled it. That one didn't take the hop he wanted, and that'll be an E4 and put a runner on base with one out.
The saying goes, you can't win a game with errors like that. And that's the thing. If you're costly in fielding, it can put you in bad positions. And with that, there's now a little more pressure. We've already seen Acuff have some good at-bats. He got an RBI previously. And now it's a runner on to try to work with here with one out.
Acuff already with 2 base hits today. He's the top hitter on the team. Came in at 378, now over 380. Earhart hoping the team can pick him up here. Maybe the 6-4-3 to get out of the inning. Acuff looks down, gets the sign from Coach Sjogren.
Saw them do the 6-4-3 before. They'd love to do it again.
Acuff shakes the bat. Here's the pitch. Off speed, does not get the call.
Count goes 2-0 now.
Paul with the long look. Very short lead for Meehan at first. But he goes. Earhart with the throw. He's safe. Or I should say Rulai with the throw. Earhart with the tag. But Meehan, even though he had a really short lead, got a good jump on Paul. And now runner on second with just one out.
Earhart disappointed there. 3-0 counts. He thought he was able to try to get that tag throw just a little high. Wasn't able to get it in time.
So Paul looks back at second. There's Meehan there.
Actually, on second is
Heron.
Yeah, Heron.
With the walk to Meehan.
Acuff actually gets the walk. As Meehan, he took it yard.
Yes.
We've got our stats.
Our stats haven't moved.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of things. I think that Meehan's home run sent a shock throughout the entire system and has crashed it partially.
Well,
but the important result
I'll
here,
rely on the scoreboard now.
Yeah, you got to rely on the one that's live here. As you see on TV, 2 runners on with 1 out and a new clean count after that walk. It's going to be.
And here comes Joe Urso. He's going to make the change. It's not Serrata. I don't even think it's Nelson. We'll see who he goes to here in the 7th. But when Joe comes out, about 110% of the time it's a pitching change.
And it is. He's going to walk to the dugout. Gets a round of applause because apart from a home run, Paul has had a nearly perfect day. 2 runs earned. He's got 2 runners on that his counterpart
might
from the
be
bullpen.
Dalton Ross coming in.
It looks like it could be Ross. That's who's there. Ross might have to deal with here, but still a great start for Paul, keeping it close. Spartans have a couple innings to respond, but Rollins do have the lead. Paul able to only go 6 1/3.
All right, we're going to take the pitching change, and while Dalton Ross warms up, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back.
In the late 1920s, the prospect of a Hillsborough High student enrolling in college was bleak. The nation was in the throes of the Great Depression. Businesses were failing, and many of Tampa's beautiful waterfront homes were left abandoned. The principal at Hillsborough High, Frederick Spalding, didn't see these barriers. He only saw bright young students who were in need of a place to continue their learning. In 1931, collegiate-level courses were offered at Hillsborough High. This would later become the University of Tampa. On August 2, 1933, Spalding arrived at the doors of Plant Hall with a 100-year lease from the city and a firm resolve, and with the turn of a key, opened the door to the University of Tampa. In its fledgling years, UT was fortunate if it could collect half of the tuition due from its students. It was only through the dedication of its professors, who worked without pay, that the university survived the Great Depression. Over the next several decades, UT grew slightly. enrolling up to 1,800 at times, starting several sports teams, and even began accepting students from other areas of the country. But in the early 90s, the growth seemed to stand still, even stop. UT needed new life, some passion. UT needed strong leadership.
In 1995, Dr. Vaughn became president and UT began to transform. 1,000 UT students has become 7,200, and we are now entering our 17th consecutive year of record enrollment. All the while, UT's academic profile continues to increase. There has been $350 million in new construction since 2000. We have added 7 new residence halls, academic buildings and labs, as well as athletic facilities. Plant Hall even got new carpet and new windows. UT now has more than 3,000 events annually.
So Dalton Ross done with his warm-ups, and he will get ready to take on Torres, who will step to the plate. Ross coming in. This will be his 24th appearance of the year, all in relief, 32 and a third innings, giving up 31 hits, 18 runs, 17 earned, 11 walks, 44 strikeouts. But he has to handle a one-out situation with runners at first and second. Torres, at the moment, 0 for 3 today. Ross with a long look. He's a sidearm kind of pitcher for Tampa.
Always be tricky to read a sidearm.
The first pitch, a little bit outside.
Seeing Ross come in for some crucial at-bats before. And here's an important one. Spartans are trailing, but with 1 out, they definitely would love to retire a jam. Wonder if Serrata's also warming up in the bullpen still.
1-0 pitch. Ground ball to Nunez. Gets the one to Earhart. The relay. Double play out of the inning. So the Spartans minimize the damage to just a solo home run. And we'll head to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time, folks. Rollins on top, 2-1, right here on TampaSpartans.tv. We head to the bottom of the seventh. John Malcolm will lead off for Tampa, followed by Jose Cadenas. And then the top of the order with Jordan Lala. 2-1, Rollins up. Spartans went to Dalton Ross to close out the end of the seventh. Got a nicely hit double play to end the inning. Malcolm on the day, fly out and struck out. Spartans will have to battle back again. There's a ball.
We've seen the Spartans battle back before, but it'll definitely be a little tougher here. Whitehead still looking good and ready to go. 99 pitch coming up.
There's a strike call, outside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2. Big gap between short and third if he doesn't get around on the pitch. Ball 3, full count. Base runners are the order of the day at the moment for Tampa. Jose Cadena's on deck. 3-2 pitch to Malcolm on the way. Swing and a miss. Dropped. They're going to throw him out, and there's one down. Bring Cadenas to the plate. For Whitehead, strikeout number 4, along with 2 walks. Given up only 4 hits today. Cadenas, base hit, a really nice bunt back in the 3rd inning. Then he flew out to right field. Whitehead keeps moving along at 102 pitches. They do have somebody up in the bullpen, not throwing yet, but just up. Swing and a miss in the dirt, but Cadenas tried to go down and get it. Makes 1 ball, 1 strike with an out. One. Ground ball heading out toward third. Goes all the way to short. Acuff at the throw, and they got him. 2 down. Nice gun by Acuff. He was deep in the hole there, but still with a nice throw. And Cadenas is down, 2 outs.
That was a very close play, but he gets it just in time. And that'll be out number 2. And maybe Rollins, they do keep it clean here. They try, but they still got it 1 more out to get. And we've seen Lala convert with 2 outs before when the Spartans need to. And especially when Earhart is on deck.
First pitch, bounced toward third. Fielded cleanly, the throw, and a quick out. Ruben to Whitehead. Ends the inning. We'll head to the 8th, and it's going to be a 2-1 Rollins lead still, right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us. And for college sports.
Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
We head to the 8th inning of a 2-1 Rollins lead over Tampa Super Regional. Winner of the best of 3 series will advance to the College World Series. There are 8 Super Regionals going on around the country, so 8 teams will converge in Cary, North Carolina next Saturday for what could be a 12-day tournament. Spartans know all about that trip, have been there many times. Rollins has never gone to the College World Series. Jesslyn Whitehead will lead off for Rollins here in the 8th. Spartans getting late in this game. Whitehead 0 for 3 today.
Spartans like to leave it late, but that also is giving a few heart attacks for fans, and they would love to do a little bit better here. They're also going to need to trust Ross to keep it clean from the bullpen. He's able to force a double play on his 2nd pitch.
Ross is set. Just a little bit outside. Josh Rulai, as we mentioned, came in last inning. Defensive replacement at catcher. Drew Earhart, who was catching, moves out to second base and takes the place of Jamarcus Lyons. 1 ball, no strikes. Ross fires. Just missing outside again. Ross with a long look. And pitches. Hit foul. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That one doesn't escape the beehive. Bounces back in play into the bullpen.
Spartans playing Whitehead straight away in all fields. Fairly deep in the outfield. And the pitch. Took a little off it, misses outside, 3-1. He's missed, all three of the balls have missed just outside and low. So Ross, the side armor, now has to put one in the strike zone. Keep this at bat going. And he misses low outside. Walked him in 5 pitches and puts the leadoff runner on base.
A good job to draw a leadoff walk and keep the pressure going. And you do wonder if Urso's patience with Ross is going to be tough. It's a 1-run game. You don't want it to get worse. If it was a couple-run lead for Rollins, that's where Urso would say, okay, don't need to really worry about a high-leverage change. Let my pitcher try to work through it. And if not, we do have a game to play tomorrow. The season isn't going to be over tonight.
You know, you mentioned it, and that'll be it for Mr. Ross. Joe Urso coming in. It's going to be Cameron Serrata coming in for Tampa. The lefty trots in from the bullpen. I'm pretty sure that is Cameron. We'll verify if it's number 14. That'll be it for Dalton Ross. He's going to leave with being responsible for a runner on first, but Joe Urso with a short leash at this point. It's Michael DeMoe coming in for Tampa. DeMoe, one of the other lefties out of the bullpen, will be the pitcher. And on the season, DeMoe brings in a 1.96 ERA. This will be his 12th appearance of the season. Has 39 innings pitched so far, 31 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 11 walks, 41 strikeouts for DeMoe.
I will say as well, DeMoe, we last saw him pitch 5 innings against Spring Hill, doing a good job in relief there. And they're going to trust him to try to get out of the jam. He's first facing Santucci, a left-handed hitter.
DeMoe might know some of these players. He's a junior from Orlando, Florida. Went to Timber Creek High School. Of course, pitching now in a 2-1 game where you're trailing in the 8th inning versus pitching against Spring Hill when you came in with a 20-run lead. A little bit different scenario.
One player he might know, Parker Smith, who's on deck. He's also from Timber Creek, and he's a sophomore, so he will get a chance potentially to face this upperclassman after this. I think overall, though, Jack, we've had a great game so far. Pretty much back and forth the entire way. Rollins with a little advantage, but there's still 2 more chances for the Spartans to go. And we know they like to leave it late. Earhart, Sullivan, and Urso due up.
DeMoe will get a couple more pitches, 1 more, and we'll get back into the action. Santucci will be coming to the plate. Whitehead will be on first. Jesslyn Whitehead. Still nobody throwing in the Tars bullpen. A couple players, though, standing, ready at a moment's notice.
We saw some stretching. We have seen, I think, a couple tosses and things before, but again, Whitehead still looks good. I think they're going to try to trust him to start the bottom of the 8th up next. And there will be a bottom of the 8th. There's no mercy rule in NCAA tournament play.
Especially at 2-1.
Yep. Very close game. No even need to mention mercy rule at that point. But again, the truth is, for a game of baseball, a game might never end.
Santucci steps in.
If you're a fan of those dark thoughts, there's not a time limit.
Runner on first. Santucci showing bunt. Nunez cheating at third. And the ball is popped up. Does Sullivan have a chance? No, he's going to let it go foul. If he couldn't catch it, he was going to let it bounce, and he couldn't quite get there to get the out. Boy, they'd have had an easy double play if he could have got there, but it bounced about 3 feet in front of him and then spun foul. So just a strike, and Santucci will come back.
Smart play by Sullivan just to let it roll foul afterwards, because again, instinct, you pick it up and try to toss it, but it was rolling foul, so no need to really stress right there.
Well, if you play it, your only play is at first, and they advance the runner, which is what you don't want to happen. So he had the runner in front of him, the batter in front of him, so he knew. Just let it go foul. He's ahead 0-1. Here's the pitch. Again, they cheat in. Again, he gets the bunt down. Fielded by Paul, but he runs past it. Sullivan scoops it, and they get him at first base where Earhart went to cover. Paul tried to scoop it, and it fell out of his mitt, and Sullivan was able to shovel it over to Earhart in time. They did advance the runner, but they did get an out.
That was a close play. Sullivan, lightning fast reaction, saves what would have been a potential error on DeMo.
Yeah, DeMo, sorry about that. I think I said Paul.
Yeah. It's a little bit hard sometimes to tell because Paul did go
They've
the
changed
distance.
it, yeah.
Paul just came back onto the field for one play. No, but Sullivan, a good recovery. He had the error earlier, but that is, I think, will do good for his confidence. And they
Spartans are going to walk him, or is it a balk?
They are walking.
An intentional walk.
That's not fun. You want to have the two collegiate or high school brothers face each other. That's not fun. They're not going to risk it. DeMo won't face.
They want the option to get forces at every base.
The student will not face the master. It is not A New Hope. Obviously, Kenobi series out on Disney Plus. Definitely check that out if you've got some free time after this game. Because
that's going to be midnight, so.
I mean, if you want a little late night show before you go to bed. But you do have
We have a pinch hitter coming up.
Number 20.
And it is number 20, Kyle Bullock. He is from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Went to Wheeling High School, Chicago suburb.
I'll say this game has had enough twists and turns to make it feel like a Star Wars movie.
And Joe Urso is going to make another pitching change. I think he just wants to take the lefty out of the lineup, out of the off the mound, and make the pitching change. We'll see who he goes to. Since we're in the 8th, wouldn't be surprised if it is Nelson, even though they're trailing.
I will say as well, interesting to think about. DeMo got out and did his job with the platoon, but there's no lefty batters coming up for a while, and they've pinch hit another. So
I don't think that's Nelson, though.
Doesn't look like it.
They never do us a favor and turn around.
I think what I'm hearing is it might be a Passarella.
Okay.
The righty from Howard Beach. It is.
It is Passarella, I should say. And we'll get his numbers. Alex comes in with a 4.73 ERA, his 17th appearance of the year. 26 and 2/3 innings pitched, 24 hits, 14 runs, all of them earned, 14 walks, and 30 strikeouts. And he'll get some warm-up pitches, and he will have runners at first and second with just one out here in the 8th, as the Spartans will desperately try to keep this a 2-1 game. Daniel, why don't we let them get a few warm-ups in, and we'll be back on TampaSpartans.tv.
Students and provides high-quality services including basic medical care, counseling, and wellness programs.
Another pinch hitter.
Still number 20?
No, it's still. Yep.
So we are back
All
at
right.
the baseball stadium. Jack?
2-1, top of the 8th, runners at first and second. Alex Passarella now in to pitch for Tampa. He inherits 2 runners. One of the runners belongs to Dalton Ross. The other one belongs to Michael DeMoe. 1 out. First pitch was a ball.
Also have to add, of course, that runner from DeMoe got on via intentional walk. So if that runner comes home, I know DeMoe will be a little bit disappointed. He will have had done an earned run for just doing what his team wanted.
And he actually never even threw a pitch. It was
Actually,
that.
Yeah, he threw, I think, one to force an out.
No, I mean to put the runner on with the walk.
Yeah. No, it was just they decided to let him go.
2 balls, no strikes. Passarella needs to throw strikes.
That one looked like it was close to being a strike, but I think just a tad bit high. Disappointing for the Spartans here.
Swing and a miss.
They do get a strike this time. Count goes 2-1. And Bullock, of course, a pinch hitter from Arlington Heights.
Passarella gets the sign. 2-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. Some heat down the middle, and it's 2-2.
Stressful situation to enter, but Passarella doing the best of it. He's gotten the count back to 2-2.
Takes a long look, gets the sign from Rulai. And finally, Bullock calls timeout. Steps out of the box.
Even though there's 1 out, a double play would bring Meehan up, and we know Meehan has been pretty dangerous tonight. He's the reason that the Rollins has a lead.
Swing and a miss. Got him on a strike, swinging high. 2 outs now. Passarella with the big play brings Meehan to the plate. Meehan, the reason it's a 2-1 game right now, as he hit a solo shot back in the 7th inning, making it 2-1. And it was hit high, about 20 or 30 feet above the outfield wall.
That's what you call a no-doubter.
Yeah, well, Lala took 2 steps and stopped, so he verified that. First pitch is a ball. 2 outs now, though, in the bottom of the top of the 8th. Just missing outside. Passarella tosses around the rosin bag, back on the mound, gets the sign. 2 on, 2 out, the pitch. Ball high. So he's gone 3-0.
Spartans would not want to concede a walk here. Even though it's 2 outs, you don't want to have the bases loaded. Even though Heron's only 1 for 3, that would be a dangerous spot.
3-0 pitch. Popped up. Do they have a play? Sullivan gives chase. Heading toward the bullpen. Still digging. Couldn't get it. I think it might have hit the netting. Foul. So it's 3-1. Close, but not quite. So everybody goes back, and we'll do a 3-1 pitch now.
You sometimes think that 3-0s you just take and hope for a ball, but that time went
He
for the
swung.
swing.
Yeah, he was not taking.
Got some good power on it, but not enough to send in the right direction. Far enough foul to make it so Sullivan couldn't end the inning.
Passarella again gets the sign, goes into the stretch. Glance back at second, the pitch. Inside, he walked him. Bases are loaded with 2 out. We'll bring Heron to the plate, the number 9 hitter in the order.
I don't think Urso's going to call the pen here, but you might see a little more activity there, just in case. And there's a very stressful at-bat here. At this point, you now just need to throw strikes. Try to get a ball in play. Trust your fielders. Get the out to end the inning.
So Heron to the plate now. Having his 1 for 3 day going. Now has the bases loaded. We have Jesslyn Whitehead on third, Parker Smith on second, and Meehan on first. And the first pitch is a ball. Passarella in the stretch. Ground ball heading out toward Nunez. Gets the hop. Guns it across. Sullivan scoops it out of the dirt. A big play to keep this game at 2-1. As that ball hit about 10 feet in front of Dan, but he made the play. Spartans trail 2-1. They head to the bottom of the 8th. They will bring up Earhart, Sullivan, Urso right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. NCAA Division II athletics program.
Austin Long will be in to pitch for the Rollins Tars here in the bottom of the 8th. He is a senior from Indiana. Comes in, he's been the closer most of the season. 2.06 ERA, has a 3-3 record, but has 8 saves, 65 2/3 innings pitched, 43 hits, 15 runs, all of them earned, 23 walks, 32 strikeouts. The first batter he will face is Drew Earhart, and the first pitch is a called strike. Spartans down 2-1, need base runners. Here's the pitch to Drew. Ball outside, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Spartans have 6 outs to pick up a run, providing Rollins doesn't score.
Earhart is the type of guy who can try to get you that run, but he's down 1-2 right now.
Ball in the dirt. 2-2.
Tough job to face a closer, but the good news is that he'll probably be tasked to go the final 2 innings, so maybe he's a little bit shorter on stamina and a little bit lower on gas entering that final frame. But for now,
2-2 pitch on the way. Fouled back. Jalen Whitehead, his stint on the mound is over. And for him, he gets 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, just 1 run. Walked 2, struck out 4. The pitch to Earhart. Right up the middle, hits off of Long. Earhart's going to dig the throw. He beat it out. That'll be a base hit for Drew. Hit Long. I'm not sure where it hit him, upper body, but it glanced off and went over to shortstop where Acuff tried to make the throw, but Drew beat it out, and he's on first.
And a good news for Rollins fans, that upper body hit means it's just going to sting. It won't impact you. Long points over to the coach who just checked on him, and he said, hey, I'm all good. He was up and moving immediately, so that was a hard hit ball, but he's just going to say, it's just a scratch. I'm ready to try to lock in here. Runner on, no outs. It's my job to keep this game tied. So Earhart gets another unironic hit here, this time off the pitcher, but gets a board.
Dan Sullivan now to the plate for Tampa. Earhart on first. He is the tying run. Sullivan waits. Long delivers. And Dan went golfing at that one. Swings and misses.
You do see Ruben playing up a little bit. Even though Sullivan, we know him to be the power hitter. He got the RBI double.
I can't remember if I've ever seen Dan sacrifice bunt.
I think I've seen it once or twice in the tournament. But again, that's a pretty big risk to try to do that here with your best hitter. And you do.
No balls, 1 strike. Throw over to first. Drew is back.
And you don't have a platoon disadvantage here, so all the more reason that you just might want to trust Sullivan. See what he can do with the bat. Try to take it far and see if you could bring Earhart home.
0-1 pitch. Ground ball heading out towards second. They get 1 at second base. The relay. Turn 2. A 4-6-3 double play, and the Tars quickly get 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
And with that, the lucky number goes down to 4 for Rollins. That's the number of outs the Spartans have left. And that time, the luck did not go in Sullivan's favor. A costly double play. That's going to bring up Urso, who's been on a bit of a cold stretch today, 0 for 3 with 2 outs. And he would love to try to keep that offense going.
First pitch, called strike. Spartans have Glancy on deck. Here's the pitch to Urso. Ground ball. That one again hits off long and goes up the middle for a base hit. He may have skipped out of the way, but it made him dance to get that one. Solid base hit for Urso, and Luke Glancy will come up as a pinch hitter for Tampa. He's batting for Rulai, yeah. So we will have another catcher or Drew Earhart back at catcher for the 9th inning. Glancy typically will stay in the outfield. So we'll see how that plays out when we get there. 2 outs. J.D. Urso on first. Spartans down 2-1. Glancy, the left-handed pinch hitter at the plate. And he fouls it off.
I think it's interesting. They're trusting Glancy here. He's been a consistent hitter, so no real harm in it. But Rulai's also had a pretty solid tournament run, pretty consistent, and he also hit his first home run of the season a couple days ago. But Urso is trusting Glancy more for this high-pressure at-bat.
Again, a throw over to first.
Last time we saw a throw over the first was Earhart there, but he was retired on that very next pitch and a double play from Sullivan.
If you go strictly on numbers, Rulai 228, Glancy a 278 hitter, so 50-point difference. And the lefty, that pitch just misses, 1-1. Long with the look. Urso on first. Glancy trying to advance him to keep the inning alive. Ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two one from Long. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
A huge at-bat here for Glancy, the graduate student from Andover, Massachusetts, previously at Tulane.
Long is set. Glancy sets the 2-2. Fouled off. That will be out of play. No, Ruben gave chase to no avail. So Glancy stays in at 2-2.
Feels like Ruben's been going for every single ball. A lot of great effort from him today. Once again, one that I think almost escaped the beehive there.
2-2 pitch again. Tough one to look at. We go 3-2. Now the advantage, we've said it before, is that with 3-2 count, Urso can be running. That's how the Spartans got their lone run of the game. Sullivan drove in Earhart. Glancy trying to drive in Urso. 3-2 count. Bottom of the 8th, 2-1 Rollins on top of Tampa. Here's the pitch from Long. Urso goes. Glancy outside, ball 4. Runners at first and second, and E.J. Cumbo will come to the plate.
Glancy did the job to get on base. Came in, successful job as a pinch hitter. Got on base, kept the inning alive, and there will be a pinch runner now. And that'll be done for Glancy. It's going to be Jorgensen coming in. I assume then Jorgensen will then shift to the outfield potentially afterward. Or maybe in the infield if they bring Earhart back to catcher.
McAllister, Jorgensen in, and a visit to the mound. This is the pitching coach coming out. Nobody warming up. Somebody may have already warmed up, but nobody throwing at the moment. So a quick visit with Long. Came in to start this inning. Responsible for both runners. E.J. Cumbo will be coming to the plate. And he's got a base hit, got hit by a pitch, and lined out on a line shot to the the first baseman his last time up.
No one's been warming up in the bullpen yet, so they're not going to take out Long, but probably just giving you some words of encouragement. 2 outs, a big at-bat here for Cumbo, the lefty sophomore. Has a chance to really do some damage. Urso's on second, and I know he's eager to try to get home and get this game tied. Jorgensen's fast, and, well, he'd be in motion too, so we've already seen Dan Sullivan take one home from first. Can Cumbo do the same?
Long on the mound. Cumbo at the plate. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Ball high. Long look by Long. Cumbo shakes the bat above his head. The pitch. Check swing, strike call, 1-1.
Cumbo, you see his bat active, moving a little bit, and that can be a little bit of mind games, getting the pitcher's head as he's trying to focus.
He usually shakes it high above his head. Right now he keeps it down, and then once the pitcher gets ready, he'll start shaking it above his head, as he's doing now. And the 1-1 pitch. Watches that one high, 2-1.
Working a good hitter's count. And you see 2-1 all over the board. That's a lead for Rollins over Tampa. That's the current count, and there's a runner on second, a runner on first. Another 2-1 right there.
2-1 pitch. And, whoa, he called a strike. I thought the catcher went low, but strike call, 2-2.
Just on that corner for what's pitched 21 for Long.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cumbo waits. The lefty. And the pitch. Fly ball heading out toward left field, giving chase. It's going to be foul and up on the screen. Fairly deep, would not have gone out, but a good run by Bullock. Wasn't going to get there anyway, so we will do the 2-2 pitch again. You just want Cumbo to slap it through the infield. With 2 outs, Urso should easily score unless it's hit too directly.
Or you want him to put it in the gap, a little bit like Earhart and Sullivan. You just want him to bring that run home, no matter how it does.
Long on the mound. Cumbo, here's the pitch. Fly ball, not going to be deep. Giving a run in is Bullock. He waits. We'll head to the 9th. Flying out is Cumbo to Bullock and left. Spartans get 2 on, do not score. And we'll head to the top of the ninth. Rollins 2, Tampa 1 on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. Incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Joey Rubin to the plate. Top of the ninth for Rollins. The Tars on top 2-1. Spartans have made a couple defensive changes. Drew Earhart, who started the game at catcher, went to second base, is now back at catcher. And McAllister Jorgensen, who came in as a pinch runner, is now the second baseman. Everybody else stays the same. And the first pitch by Rubin fouled off. Alex Passarella on the mound for Tampa. Had 2/3 of an inning to close out the seventh. Now his job, close out the ninth and let the Spartans battle back in the bottom of the ninth.
That's a job easier said than done.
Strike call.
Facing the 1-2-3 hitters of Rollins. And so far both teams, 207 average, 6 for 29 in plate appearances. But notably Rollins, more walks, more extra base hits, and of course, they lead.
Passarella in the stretch. 0-2 pitch. One hops it to Drew for the ball. That'll make it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Acuff and then Torres. The next 2 hitters in the Tars order. One ball, 2 strikes. Fouled off. Down into the Tars bullpen. Stays 1-2. Passarella saw the clock running down, so he makes a feeble attempt to throw to third, where there's no base runner, but it reset the pitch clock, and the pitch is outside 2-2. We were at a minor league game last night. They actually have the pitch clock 18 seconds, but they have a clock in the outfield and behind home plate, and we saw it twice where the pitchers let it expire, and I'm like, how do you let that happen? It's right in front of you.
You can see it. You just got to act on it.
2-2 on the way. Fouled back. One of them, he was like 4 seconds late, and the umpire just finally called it. They did have an odd situation where the pitch clock ran out. Pitcher threw the ball. Umpire had called it a ball. The base runner on second stole third. He had to go back because when the pitch clock ran out, it was time on the play.
That's one of the times where you're...
Swing and a miss. Boy, he just spun around like a corkscrew and goes down swinging.
You know, it's the screwball. That's the type of pitch that goes like a screw. This time it's the batter who kind of gets swirled into a screw.
Yeah.
Like that. You rarely see that. That's something more out of a cartoon, a big swing and miss. But that'll sit down Rubin and continue his rough day. He's been great in the field, but at the plate, 0 for 4.
Brings Acuff to the plate.
Acuff started out with a strikeout, but 2 for 2 since, and an RBI.
Strike call. Acuff drove in the first run of the game. Gave the Tars a 1-0 lead. The Spartans countered with a run in the bottom of the 6th, but Meehan homered in the 7th, and that's the difference in the game right now. 0-1 pitch from Passarella. Ground ball heading out to Urso. Takes a nice hop. Tossing it across to Sullivan, and we have 2 up and 2 down.
Important for Passarella. Quick start here. And now, with 2 outs, he's got a chance to try to send it to the bottom of the 9th with a very manageable lead. Bottom half of the order coming up for the Spartans, so it won't be easy. But I'd rather only deal with a 1-run deficit than anything more.
Torres to the plate. Torres has hit into 2 double plays today. That won't happen at this at-bat. He steps out. Passarella sets and fires. 1 hops past Earhart to the screen. Ball 1.
Now we see a couple players from Rollins being ready to pick that up. And I'm pretty sure there's Ross over to the left getting that one before.
Yep. Earhart calls timeout this time. Readjusts the mask. One-0 pitch to Torres. Again, 1 hops it to Drew. 2-0.
Mentioned Ruben not the best day. Well, Torres, even worse. He's grounded out in 2 double plays today. Alongside a flyout and ground out earlier. He's wanting to turn his fortunes around.
Two-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Torres couldn't catch up to it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two-1 on the way. That one catches the outside corner. Evens it up at 2-2. Passarella battles back. Trying to get out of this inning unscathed. In the stretch, 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, stays 2-2.
Torres keeping it alive here. He hasn't struck out today. Although, in total, there have been 4 and more for Rollins.
Two-two pitch again. Passarella with the long look. Now in the stretch. Fouled back again. Will stay 2-2. Torres steps back in. Fans on both sides cheering their teams on. Passarella in the stretch. 2-2 with 2 out. Fly ball out to center field. Cadenas backs up. Now turns a little bit to his right. Makes the catch. We will head to the bottom of the 9th. The Spartans need 1 to tie, 2 to win. It's a 2-1 Rollins lead right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
All right, bottom of the ninth, folks. Tampa down to its final 3 outs, and it will start with Anthony Nunez. And with a right-handed pitcher, Nunez will bat left-handed. We don't have the stats broken down to left and righty. Long, winds and fires. Strike call.
This last chance saloon for the Spartans. They've got 3 more chances to keep the inning alive late here. Now 11:15 p.m.
Long fires. Nunez looks at another one for a strike 2 call.
You know the Spartans like to leave it late, but they'd love to try to get a leadoff runner and not get an early out. But so far, Nunez down in the count.
0-2 pitch. Fly ball heading foul. Ruben gives chase, and it's up on the netting, foul. Tell you, you're right, though. Ruben hustles down that line just in case.
If that was in play, Ruben certainly would have gotten it, but not right here. And count stays 0-2.
Long is set, winds and fires. Outside, ball 1.
Problem is, when you're facing Nunez, an 0-2 count doesn't feel like much because we know just how good Nunez can be in working walks. He's already had 2 today. He actually hasn't had a ball in play all day.
1-2 pitch. Ground ball heading out towards second. Fielded. Torres, 1 up, 1 down. Spartans down to their final 2 outs, and John Malcolm will be at the plate.
Spartans, not an elimination game for the first time in a little while, but they could have an elimination game early tomorrow should Malcolm or Cadenas not be able to keep the game alive. 2 more outs for the Spartans and 2 more for Long to keep the save.
Malcolm at the plate. Strike call. Game time scheduled right now for 1 o'clock. We haven't heard. There were rumors it might get moved back because we were 2.5 hours late starting this one, but nothing's confirmed. Still planned for 1 o'clock. Malcolm with the ball outside, 1-1.
Of course, keep track on the Rollins website, Tampa website, as we will be able to provide updates on when it will start. Because again, you probably won't know that's going to be a game time decision.
Fouled off. Well, it won't be game time. We'll know well in advance.
Yeah.
Not expecting any rain. That's just a freak little shower that came in here, delayed us. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Malcolm. Ball outside, 2-2.
Long
Spartans have a pinch hitter on deck for Cadenas.
Giovanni Lorenzo, he'll be getting ready to go.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 1 more out, and Rollins will have a 2-1 win.
But that's the hardest out to get. Both times the Spartans got it down to 2 outs against Nova Southeastern, they were able to nearly blow it. Against Nova Southeastern, they took 8-3 into 2 outs and nearly turned it to an 8-7 win, almost a loss. And 2 outs, they had 2 more runners come aboard in the game that sent them to the Super Regional.
Giovanni Lorenzo, 301 batting average. Facing Austin Long, the first pitch, ball is high. Lorenzo, his 34th game, the pitch. Ground ball toward first, but foul. Fielded by Whitehead, about 3 feet foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
For the junior for Fort Myers, he's also a switch hitter, so he's batting lefty this time. An important at-bat for him in the Spartan season.
1-1 pitch. Fouled off, 1-2. Spartans down to their last strike. Gets the Rollins fans cheering. Lorenzo steps back in. The 1 2 strike pitch. Outside 2-2. Jordan Lala hoping to get an at-bat.
He'd love the chance to try to do what he did against Nova and get a crucial 2-out hit, but that rests on Lorenzo's shoulders, just like his bat.
Hit down the line, but it's going to be foul into the bullpen.
It's 11-19, but still the crowd filled with ecstatic Rollins and Tampa's fans on the edge of their seats. Can Lorenzo keep the Spartans alive?
Two balls, 2 strikes. Long winds and fires. And hit down the line, but it is foul. Whitehead, the first baseman, dove for that ball, almost dove right into the umpire, but it did go foul by about 2 feet. That could have been dangerous going down the line, but just a foul ball, folks.
So close. It's a game of inches, and inches separating that from what could have been a crucial base hit into 2-2 one more time.
2-2 pitch. Long is ready. Lorenzo at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again.
The first few games for the Spartans were easy. A 35-4 win, 9-3 loss, and 9-3 win. Every single other time it's been a heart attack. It's fun, but definitely taxing.
2-2 pitch. Off speed, full count, 3-2.
Situation you dream of as a kid. Bottom of the 9th, game on the line, full count.
Just to add to the drama, he goes full count.
You didn't need to do that, Lorenzo. Plenty of drama
Long
already.
is set. Here's the pitch. Bounces it in. Spartans have a base runner, and Jordan Lala will come to the plate. And I think he's got a pinch runner. Sam's got a pinch runner coming in. It's Kian Knutson coming in. Freshman. Will run for Lorenzo.
Important thing here, that runner's going whenever there's a ball in play. There's 2 outs.
2 outs. Just if Lala can put one down the line or in the gap. Jordan Lala to the plate now for at bat number 5 today.
Knutson, he's a tying run. And Lala, he's potentially a winning run right now at the plate. Still so much drama left to be had here in this one at-bat.
Long is set. Lala ready. Here's the pitch. And it's a ball. One ball, no strikes. Knudsen, pinch runner in for Lorenzo at first. Long sets. Fires. Lala watches a strike down the middle.
By the way, Long already at over 40 pitches. You wonder how much fuel is in his tank as a closer.
Well, he only needs one more out, so maybe not many. But here we go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off speed, tried to bring it into the zone. Doesn't get it. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That looked very close. Like, I thought that would have been a strike in the outside corner. Barely high, so very much a 50-50 call there.
2-1. Lala pops it up in play. Ruben out of play, but makes the catch. Goes to the ground. Rollins with a 2-1 win in the first game of this best-of-3 series. So Ruben has been chasing him in foul territory all day. Finally gets one that stays inside the beehive, and he makes the catch. Rollins a 2-1 winner. Rollins on the day, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Spartans 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors in the game. And for Tampa, now 44-12 on the year, and Rollins with this win goes to 37-15, and we'll play again tomorrow. It's scheduled for 1 o'clock. We have not been told anything differently, so we will get here then.
Indeed, and that's the 4th ever win for Rollins on the road against the Spartans, and that is a huge one to kick off the season. The Spartans will be playing for their season tomorrow. Winning pitcher, it is Jalen Whitehead.
Yep.
7 innings, 1 earned on 4 hits and 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and Long gets the save. He had 1 strikeout, 2 walks and 2 hits, but both runners in the 9th were stranded, and there was no more stress for him. He's able to get the job done through 2 innings. Losing pitcher for the Spartans is Paul. He only conceded 2 runs, but that was enough for the loss. Ross, DeMoe, and Passarella all came in with varied amounts of relief work. The Spartans ultimately lose 2-1 on a solo shot from Mahan. He finishes the day 2 for 3 with a home run and single RBI, arguably player of the day. Acuff 2 for 4 with an RBI, and Dan Sullivan a double that was an RBI and a 1 for 4 day. But if you enjoyed day 1 of this series, we still have another day that could hold 2 games should the Spartans win. But you'll have to join us then. I'm Taylor Storley alongside Jack Ike. And Jack, are you ready for tomorrow?
Well, we'll have to be. Spartans need to play 2 tomorrow. It's all laid out right in front of them. As I said, Spartans now 44-12. Rollins goes to 39-15. We'll be back tomorrow. 1 o'clock is game time, is what we've been told. Check the schedules for each team's website, just in case it changes, but that's the plan for the moment. All right, we will be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. This is TampaSpartans.tv. Oh, wait, before we go off, keep that on. We've just been told it's 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. tomorrow is when we will have Game 2 of the series. See you tomorrow at 3 right here on TampaSpartans.tv.